My friend, I know sometimes life gets difficult. It looks like nothing is happening for you. You look to your left and there is no help. You look to your right and there is no help. Meanwhile, you know deep down that you are made for more. Sometimes, life doesn't happen just as we want. It happens just as the Lord has planned for us. It may not look like anything is happening, but God is working behind the scenes. Sometimes, the people around you, the people you helped, are doing better than you. The Bible says that it is foolish to compare yourself to another. I want to encourage you today. Don't compare yourself to anybody. You're on your own timeless. The Lord is helping you just as He wants. And in due season, you are going to see the things that He has planned for you. So today, lift your head up, walk boldly, knowing very well that God is with you and He has got your back. When things don't look like they're happening, just step forward in boldness and declare, because your words carry power and you will see the Lord move in your affairs. Good morning.
Pastures where cattle may roam, thank Thee for Thy love so pure and so free, O Lord. We thank Thee.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Good morning, Ghana, Akwaba, and welcome to the Business Breakfast on Zed. It's the 12th of June, 2025, and it's a throwback Thursday here on the Business Breakfast on Zed. Whether you're now getting off your bed, whether you're on your way because of the cold weather, we've got you covered this morning right here. Thank you very much for choosing us. We're streaming live on our Instagram, on our Facebook, at ZFMGH, and on YouTube at Z Multimedia. We've got a lot of things in store for you. Please don't go anywhere. Let's do this for God and country.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio. Zed 101.9 FM.
You are more than these. Lost for words, trying to describe you. Elohim, Elion, Ale Shelevi. Your greatness is all I see. There is nothing you cannot do. There's no mountain you cannot move. If you have said it, then you will do it. 'Cause you have a track record of keeping your word, and you're not about to stop.
27 after 6. This is a business breakfast on Zed. 101.9 FM with me, Trebi Hammond. Thank you very much for choosing us this morning. Olorun Agbaye, You Are Mighty by Nathaniel Bassey, featuring Chandler Moore and Oba. A very powerful reminder that we serve a God who is not only mighty but unchanging. He's reliable in every season. In every season of your life, the Lord is unchangeable and He's unchanging. He remains the same. And the Bible says that He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Situations may come, situations may go, but we serve a God that never changeth. He never changes in character. He never changes in His approach. He never changes. And the title Olorun Agbaye means God of the universe in Yoruba. God of the universe. The one true God of the universe. And that is exactly what He is. He's bigger than every challenge, every uncertainty, every deadline, and of course, every storm. So to you listening to me right now, whether you are leading a business, you are building a dream, or even navigating life's complexities, this song is a call to remember that no matter how uncertain the economy is, no matter how uncertain the exchange rate is, no matter how uncertain things around you are looking, no matter the pressure, God remains mighty. He is faithful and He is sovereign. And He's the one who speaks and brings it to pass. There is absolutely nothing too hard for Him. The one who is not intimidated by numbers, forecasts, or even setbacks. So let the song stir your faith this morning. Dream again, build again, and lead again. Because the God of the universe is backing you. Alright, let me run you through what we have for you this morning here on the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. Of course, as usual, we're starting with our news review segment. And then just after that, Samuela Entry will come your way with business news. And then Lukman Evergreen Moomin takes over with Sports Flash, keeping you updated with the latest in the world of sports. And then I come your way with Business Brief in preparation for our roundtable discussion. And then right after that, Solomon Tetenate takes over with Transport Today. And then we get into market trends, analyzing the trends. And then, of course, we wrap up everything with our roundtable discussion. So it's going to be a fantastic morning here, as usual, right here on your lifestyle, your leisure, and business platform. Please don't go anywhere. Keep it logged here. We're driving you through to 9:55, and I promise you're going to love it. Don't worry, we are going to land safely and everything is under control. right, thank you very much. We get into our news review segment right away. Please stay tuned.
Zed 101.9 FM.
All right, thank you very much for sticking and staying with us here on the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. We're starting with a news review segment right away, and I'll run you through a few of the headlines this morning, and then we get to try to break a few of them down as well. So starting with the New Finder newspaper, this one says Ghana's economy hits 5.3% growth in quarter one, and stories on page 8 of the New Finder newspaper. Also, Tema and Takrady ports to run 24/7 starting July 1. Story is on page 8, and also investor confidence high as 13 stocks rise on Ghana Stock Exchange. Story is on page 9 of the New Finder newspaper. You may want to grab a copy and have a read. And this one says understanding customers key to business growth, coming from marketing aspect. And also analysts demands answers on Ghana's money supply surge. And this one says that expert urges entrepreneurs to research before launch. And okay, this one also says ghost names discovered in payroll audit. And Ghana Health Service confirmed 6 new mpox cases as total hits 85, and no major malpractice reported as BC 2025 kicks off. And this one also says tradition meets innovation at launch of Ghana Herbal Conference. And Access Bank Ghana's SME Empowerment wins International Finance Award. And BOG warns against unlicensed platforms, Yellow Pay and Honey Pay. And also Aviation Authority accelerates KIA projects to position Ghana as Africa's air hub. And gold buyers secure EPA waiver to ease licensing burden. And Slaha and London market to ease congestion for traders. And also this one says that WHO urges bilateral deals as mpox vaccines remain scarce worldwide. And also this one says surge in high value notes sparks inflation fears. And Ghana Exim Bank boosts SMEs to compete on global stage. And investor confidence high as 13 stocks rise on Ghana Stock Exchange. Also Ghana records broad-based growth. And on the international front, also in the New Finder newspaper, is that world's leading AI chip maker makes infrastructure push across Europe. And rare earth truce, US and China revive stalled trade talks. And government approves book and research allowance for senior university staff. And also after boss challenges 15% intra-African trade claim. And this one also says government urges domestic airlines to cut fares. All right, and let's go to myjoyonline.com. Check some of the online portals. This one says NAPO is under investigation for mathematical sets, procurement, and other issues, coming from the Deputy Attorney General Sremsai. And also, this one says that dozens of ex-government officials quietly answering for their tenure without fanfare, also coming from the Deputy Attorney General. And he also says that oral process is not slow, it is moving fast. And this one says that no statement was admitted, so it couldn't be made. Speaker on minority clash with deputy. And Iyoko and NIB investigate Ken Oforiatta extradition processes underway. And we're working overnight, but we can't publish everything, coming from the Deputy Attorney General as well. And this one says review of pension scheme necessary to ensure fairness, coming from the President John Dramani Mahama. And on City Newsroom, this one says that Parliament Health Committee to meet striking nurses today. And cops tortured Atai to frame innocent mechanic. And also removal of, that's coming from the lawyer, and also removal of major generals follow Ghana Armed Forces rules and precedent. And that's coming from Omani Boama. And delay in nurses' condition of services caused by internal union dispute. And that is coming from FWSC, which is the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. And this one also says that Baumia's candidacy it wasn't hindered by religious bias. Nana Komia responds to Ken Japan. And government approves 2024-2025 book and research allowance rates for senior staff. Mahama alone can reset Ghana. Kwame Mpianim. All right, these are a few of the stories on City Newsroom as well. And on the international front, Trump says again he will set unilateral tariffs in 2 weeks. And and on BBC, US to partially evacuate embassy in Iraq as Iran tensions arise. These are a few of the headlines. I have joining me over the phone lines Michael Akpene Afolabi to help me break down some of these headlines. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Ralph.
Yes, I'm doing very well by God's grace. Always a pleasure to have you.
Always a pleasure. Good morning, Francis.
Yes, I'm not too sure if I don't know what the problem is, but okay. Can you?
I hear some feedback.
Okay, is it any better now?
Let me see. I think it's a bit better.
All right. Okay. So this one we just want to break down a few of the headlines as usual, and we probably want to start with the new as usual, we'll start with the new financial newspaper. This one says Ghana's economy hits 5.3% growth in quarter one. Story is on page 8. I'll probably just read a portion of that story and then you share your thoughts on that. Story is on page 8. It says that Ghana's economy grew by 5.3% in the first quarter of 2025, reflecting ongoing recovery and strength in key sectors, especially agriculture and services. The figure released by the Ghana Statistical Service marks an improvement over the 4.9% growth recorded during the same period last year. Growth was even stronger in the non-oil segment of the economy, which expanded by 6.8%, indicating broad-based growth beyond the traditional oil and gas sector. According to government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu, the performance was largely driven by strong activity in the crops subsector of agriculture, which led to an overall sector growth of 6.6%. This was followed closely by a 5.9% increase in the service sector, supported by information communication, technology, finance and insurance, transport and storage, and health and social work. And he says that, and I quote, these numbers reflect strong activity across many areas. All sectors recorded growth except the industrial sector, which was affected by the contraction in oil and gas. This is good news. Michael, what are your thoughts on that?
Very, very, very good news. Economy, it's in 5% the first quarter of the year. The boost for all targets a year as a book. When the final percentage is brought up at the end of the year, so I think we have to keep doing our best as a country. It's beautiful to see that there are great sector forms a very strong part of this 5.3% growth, and then the services sector as well. I believe that government is trying to, engage in the 24-hour economy and other initiatives. We will see better growth, especially in the manufacturing sector, because now they will be working more time. I believe it will lead to more employment among other.
Right.
So we expect to see growth in those areas as the rest of the quarter to find it's good. I mean, it's a good way to start.
Absolutely. Yeah. And 5.3% is not bad at all compared to the 4.9% last year around the same time. I think we're doing well. And the government statistician actually said that we are recovering. We are doing fine, and things are most likely to get better in the coming months. I think that is some good news. The economy is doing really well. We still have some more work to do anyway. But you mentioned 24-hour economy. The government yesterday announced that, the president announced that the 24-hour economy is starting on July 1. But the question I'm asking is that, are we ready?
That's a serious question. Disturbing a lot of Ghanaians. But I want to rely on the assurance of the president, right, and the plans that are in place. I believe that the rollout should be started slowly from areas where we know that we can rely on their efficiency, right, and then we continue with developing the other areas that we do not see too much efficiency over there. So that at the end of the day, when it's fully in motion, you can see that everything is going to work, right? Because there are still challenges with electricity, especially provision of electricity. I had lights out last night. This 24-hour economy was rolling out. A factory somewhere would experience this light out, and it's disrupted production. All these issues and matters which I believe they should work out before this 1st July period. But I believe that at the beginning of the year, the government has done a lot of things, and it feels that it's appropriate that for 1st July, the 24-hour economy to start, right? And let's all be hopeful as it starts that we'll see efficiency and we'll see stability in our electricity and other requirements that we need to have. So I'm sure maybe in the coming days we will hear from stakeholders on the arrangements and that, especially security too. Security too is very, very important. Because we hear some robberies and we hear of accidents on the road, and security must be enhanced.
Yeah.
Other things. So we want to see all those agreements, but it's very at the 24-hour economy. 1st July. It's 1st July or 2nd, because 1st July is a holiday.
Yeah, but that was a communication. That was 1st July. So we hope to see what comes out of that. But I mean, you make very salient points. I mean, everybody has been calling on the government to put in the right measures before we start, and I am of the view that this shouldn't be rushed at all. Like we saw with some of the policies. I mean, we can talk about free SHS, for instance. I mean, people have varied views on that, but how the rollout maybe to satisfy some political figures, or maybe to win or score political points, really. So we need to be very careful. Government has promised 24-hour economy, fine. We didn't say, I mean, government didn't give any timelines at the beginning of the administration to start right away or not. So let's put in the structures. Let's make sure that things are working. Electricity, roads, transportation issues, like you mentioned. All of these things are things that we need to be very careful about, because, I mean, a major one is also security. If we are unable to put in these things at the right time, we'll struggle. And the government has said that they're going to start with the Tema and Takrady ports. I mean, those places they need 24-hour economy, but are we ready to provide everything that they need before we can roll out effectively? I hope that the government has put in place something like that. But we'll have a conversation, most likely, to see the progress that government has made so far. And I hope that they come to give us a rollout. Maybe the one in charge, the advisor on 24-hour economy at the presidency, Mr. Gusitano, will come and maybe address the press or something, so that we can get to understand the rollouts properly. But I agree with you on everything that you said. Well, let's do some other stories, a few of the other stories here. This one says, understanding customers is very key to business growth. Yesterday, that was a conversation we had on our roundtable discussion. You may want to comment on that, Michael.
Yes. I enjoyed the conversation very much, although I couldn't listen entirely, but it's very true. I mean, customers are the reason we run our business, right? And we can't neglect them in any way, in anything that we do. So it's important that we understand them and their needs that they come with, and then know how to speak to them, know how to address their challenges where they are beyond us as business people. Let them know in a nice and polite way, in a way that we are able to still keep our customers, not sweep them away entirely to go and look for other people to rely on instead. So as business people, as entrepreneurs, we have to make sure that our customers are not always satisfied, because human beings are not be satisfied all the time. And make sure that we are working with them to make sure that the best situation takes place in our relationships with them all.
Absolutely. It's a very, very important thing, and I don't think there's anything I would even want to add, because everybody who is into business knows that they are serving customers, and they need to really understand them to be able to serve them better. Now, Aspect also urges entrepreneurs to research before launch, and I think that's one of the big problems here in Ghana. A lot of us start businesses without any research, and it's a big problem. Many people will just have an idea, sometimes by inspiration of the Holy Spirit, sometimes by seeing that somebody is in that business and they feel like, oh, I can also sell this thing, and then they just go into it, no research. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, research is very, very important, because even when the Holy Spirit leads you to a particular business idea, which is expecting you to, put in the required measures in place to be able to run your business successfully. And this includes research. And in today's world, it's so easy to find information, right? It's so easy to find information. Whatever business idea you have, there are people who have written some thesis on it, in business schools, in the country and all that. You can go there, get access to that information, learn something, learn something, add to your idea, so that at the end of the day, when you are rolling out, you can roll out well. You are sure that because of this research you are relying on, you'll be able to make progress. And it should be a constant thing. After you launch out, after doing some research, it shouldn't end there. You should continue to do more research to know what customers know, how well your product is going to do, whether there's a need to diversify into something else, whether there's a need to pick something of what you are producing and selling. Research helps you to get all of that.
Absolutely.
And it will keep your business running and you keep progress.
Right. Very, very salient. Now, Ghana Health Service has confirmed 6 new Mpox cases. Michael, the Mpox cases continue to rise. I remember when we started and we're talking about 4, we're talking about 8.
Exactly.
Today, as we speak, it has hit 85. 85. And it seems nobody seems to care. We are all very quiet and allowing it to happen. But until it hits you, until it happens to you, or maybe you get infected, you might not be concerned. I don't know what government is really doing about this. I haven't heard anything from the ministry or anything. I don't know if you have.
Well, honestly, I haven't heard so much apart from what we read here in the news regularly. At 85, the situation is getting scary by the day. The only good thing we can be grateful for is the fact that there will be no casualties.
Yeah.
And I think that is good. But aside that, we need to improve the communication with this virus. I mean, we still take protocols every day. We interact with people every day. A lot of Ghanaians still don't know what to do in the face of this viral infection. And from the looks of things, it's very, very dangerous and it's spreading fast. Because looking at the period from which we saw 4 to how we got into 85, it's been very, very short. So the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, must step up their communication with citizens on this disease, so that are more aware and more careful. And all in all, we have to use our platform to advise Ghanaians, please wash your hands as regularly as possible. Make sure that your surfaces you use when you get to the office, you sanitize them before you use those surfaces, and all other protective measures. Like it should be in place. I mean, I think the situation is under control, but we cannot lose guard at all.
And you're right on that. A lot of education needs to go on. Like I was saying, I haven't really seen much in that regard. I haven't seen a lot of public education. I mean, we should be seeing some adverts on our TVs. We should be seeing some because it is growing by the day, and every day we get some new confirmed cases. Sometimes it is 2, sometimes it's 3. I think yesterday it was 4 or so, 4 new cases that took us to about 75 or something. I've forgotten. Now we hit 85, and that is a lot. That is a lot. We need to do the right thing. Maybe I should use this platform to call on the Ghana Health Service to intensify the public education, and also the Ministry of Health should take to play an active role in all of this to make sure that we are able to deal with this before it escalates to a point where we can't deal with it. Now, no major malpractice reported as BC 2025 kicks off. Usually, I think maybe the first day you don't really hear a lot of malpractices. But going forward, sometimes. Go ahead, Michael.
That's when we see. Yes, I was saying as we go on, that's when we see students trying to engage in some malpractice here and there. But to keep radio on them.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll continue to encourage them to avoid more practices altogether. Our young ones who are writing the BC parents, I think parents should be speaking to their children because,
Yeah.
especially because we've had an experience here in this country where people had to rewrite the whole BC all over again. I think in 2002 or so. My sister was one of them. My big sister was one of those.
Oh.
Yes, and that actually affected a lot of people. There were people who didn't write anymore because some of them, there's a particular there are groups of people too who burn their uniforms right after writing this BCs and all of that. Some of them didn't have uniforms; they couldn't go back. And today, as we speak, they became dropouts. Whatever has has come out of their lives, we do not know. So, parents should encourage their children. To avoid more practices altogether. I don't know if you have any final thing to say before we go, Michael.
Well, nothing much. Let me just use this platform to wish General Manager for ZFM a very good morning, special good morning to her. Yes, that's what I'd like to end with.
All right, Michael, thank you very much for your time and for your insights. We're grateful.
It's always a pleasure.
Please enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right. And that was Michael Akpene Afolabi, a news review pundit here on the Business Breakfast on Zed, always helping us to understand some of the headlines that we see. Well, now time for business news, and Samuela Entry is ready to bring you that. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the business news segment on Business Breakfast on Zed. Thank you for staying throughout. I am Samuela Entry. Today we begin the headlines with Ghana's economy grows by 5.3% in first quarter of 2025. And later we'll take you through Ghana's 24-hour economy to launch on July 1, starting with Tema and Takoradi Port. And AGI warns high production cost undermine benefit of stronger cedi. All that and more coming up. Stay with us. Now let's settle for the details. Ghana's economy grew by 5.3% in the first quarter of 2025, according to figures released by the Ghana Statistical Service. This marks an improvement over the 4.9% growth recorded during the same period last year. The non-oil GDP growth rate was even stronger, reaching 6.8%, driven by strong performances in the services and agricultural sectors. Speaking to journalists in Accra, government statistician Dr. Alassane Idrisu said the growth indicates a positive trend in the economy. He explained that all major sectors recorded growth except for industry, which grew at a slower rate of 3.4% due to low activity in the oil and gas sector. Dr. Idrisu said the services sector led the expansion, with ICT, finance and insurance, transport and storage, and health and social work among the top performing sub-sectors. Fishing also featured among the 5 fastest growing areas of the economy. The Ghana Statistical Service says the data shows encouraging signs of recovery and resilience across key sectors of the economy. Away from that, President John Dramani Mahama has announced that Ghana's 24-hour economy initiative will officially begin on July 1, 2025, with Tema and Takoradi Port operating around the clock. The move marks a major milestone in the government's agenda to modernize agriculture, boost export, and drive industrial transformation. The announcement was made during the opening of the Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025 in Accra. The initiative aims to strengthen the country's agro-industrial value chain by enabling the rapid movement of perishable goods such as pineapples, mangoes, chilies, and herbs from farms to international markets. This is expected to significantly reduce post-harvest losses and increase foreign exchange earnings. The 24-hour economy policy goes beyond extending work hours. It includes infrastructure upgrades, reliable energy supply, enhanced security, and the deployment of digital platforms to support continuous and high-value production and logistics. President Mahama outlined a broader strategy under the Feed Ghana program spanning from 2025 to 2028, structured around 4 key pillars: expanding greenhouse vegetable production, establishing smart agriculture and farmer support centers, developing agri-industrial zones with cold chain infrastructure, and launching youth-focused agribusiness clinics for skills training and startup support. With Ghana's non-traditional exports surpassing $3.5 billion in 2024, driven largely by horticulture, the government has set a target to reach $10 billion by 2030. The president highlighted that increasing high-value agricultural export is essential to stabilizing the cedi and improving the country's economic resilience. Financial institutions, particularly Ghana Exim Bank, were called upon to provide capital to agribusiness startups. The president also encouraged international investors to partner with Ghana in building its agri-tech capacity, logistics infrastructure, and skills ecosystem. And to our last story for the bulletin, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has raised alarm over the continued high cost of production, warning that it remains a key barrier to reducing prices of goods and services despite the recent appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi. Speaking before the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, AGI National Treasurer Raphael Ayite explained that the elevated cost of raw materials is limiting the ability of businesses to translate currency gains into lower prices for consumers. He stressed that unless production costs are significantly reduced, the economic benefit from the cedi strengthening will not be sustainable. Ayite cautioned that the factors which previously weakened the currency could re-emerge if structural cost pressures are not addressed. Highlighting the specific challenges in the hospitality industry, Ayite noted that the sector remains heavily dependent on import, with up to 75% of input sourced from abroad. This import reliance continues to drive up operational costs, even amid favorable currency movement. The Association of Ghana Industries is urging policymakers to take decisive steps to tackle the root causes of high production cost in order to ensure long-term competitiveness and price stability across key sectors of the economy. And that's what we have for the business news segment on Business Breakfast on Zed. But before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. Ghana's economy has grown by 5.3% in first quarter of 2025. And Ghana's 24-hour economy to launch on July 1, starting with Tema and Takoradi Port. The Association of Ghana Industries have warned of high production cost undermine benefit of stronger cedi. You can get more business news on www.zmultimedia.com. You can also follow us on all the social media platforms: ZFMGH on Instagram, Facebook and X, and Z Multimedia on TikTok and YouTube. I am Samuela Aintree. Thanks for listening. And up next is Sports Flash with Lukman Evergreen Moment.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
In the heart of Accra, nestled in the vibrant neighborhood of East Legon and New Beacon, a 360 multimedia farmhouse emerged. Introducing Zed Multimedia. With a steadfast focus on lifestyle, leisure, and business, we set out to bring high-value oriented programs that captivate the taste and desires of our audience. From the captivating airwaves of Zed 101.9 FM to the dynamic visuals of Zed TV and the innovative realms of Zed Digital and the incubation of advanced technological knowledge at Zed Tech, every facet of modern media is meticulously curated to engage and inspire. Also, let's not forget the new-founded newspaper, now under the Zed Multimedia umbrella, delivering insightful journalism with a business focus. Join us on the journey where innovation meets inspiration, where lifestyle meets leisure, and where business thrives. Change is here. Zed Multimedia, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
The stage is set for something special.
It is time to go racing.
Garnacho! Oh wow! Oh wow!
LeBron James with no regard for human life.
You couldn't write a script like this.
Here's Metzer. This is positive. Williams.
Kudus! The Korean joy did not last for long.
Oh my gosh, Kudus.
Set back for Partey. Oh yes! Oh yes, Thomas Partey.
Hello, good morning. It's time for Sports Flash on Business Breakfast on Zed. My name is Lukman Evergreen Moment. It's 3 days to the start of the FIFA Club World Cup, and the teams are announcing their squads while others have arrived in the United States of America. In Ghana, BBN Gold Stars are looking at beefing their squad ahead of the CAF Champions League next season. And in the NBA, Indiana Pacers have taken the lead in the final after Game 3. But then we begin with some Ghana Premier League news. President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Edwin Simeon Okreku, has congratulated BBN Gold Stars for winning their first ever Ghana Premier League title, describing their triumph as a well-deserved victory. Now, Gold Stars sealed their historic feat in style after thumping Accra Lions 4-0 at the Dance Park on the final day of the season. Still with BBN Gold Stars, they are set to bolster their squad ahead of next season's CAF Champions League, with head coach Frimpong Manso citing the need for additional signings to compete at the continental level. Manso revealed that he has a draft of potential signings, but the details will be revealed later. Nations FC have voiced their discontent with the ruling of the Ghana Football Association's disciplinary committee over the abandoned Premier League fixture against Baseke Holy Stars. However, they have chosen not to appeal for that case. The Ghana Football Association found Nations FC culpable for the disruption that led to the abandonment of the Week 33 encounter. Now, Vision FC have confirmed the sudden passing of defender and captain Habib Ganiyu, a key figure in the club's historic rise to the Ghana Premier League. In a statement on Tuesday, the club announced the tragic loss but did not disclose the cause of the player's death. The news has deeply shaken the club, who recently completed their debut top-flight season by successfully avoiding relegation. Now to Ghanaian players abroad, Thomas Partey says he wants to enjoy playing football, with his future at Arsenal yet to be resolved. Partey's contract at the Emirates Stadium runs out at the end of this month, with the club still in talks with the camp of the midfielder to extend his stay. Now, despite ending the 2024-2025 campaign without a trophy, Partey played a key role for the Gunners.
No, I think the first thing is where are you happy? Where you feel at home. And at the end of the day, you've been playing football, you've been in different teams. It's not going to be like the last thing you play or the first thing you're going to play. So where you feel happy, then what is your next objective? What do you want to achieve next? You still have to look at all this, and at the end of the day, we all have a family that will need money. You know, because this is our mind. We are not getting younger. We are working. So there are a lot of things you have to look.
Well, so that was Thomas Partey. He will definitely be considering a lot of things before putting pen to paper on extending his contract at Arsenal. Napoli have started negotiations with AC Milan for the transfer of United States international Yunus Musa, according to renowned transfer football expert Fabrizio Romano. The 22-year-old midfielder of Ghanaian descent has emerged as a prime target for Napoli manager Antonio Conte as they look to strengthen their squad ahead of the 2025-2026 campaign. Now, Bayern Munich are laying the groundwork for a major summer signing as they look to sign Ghanaian Spanish international Nico Williams in the summer transfer window. The German Giants have already held talks with the 22-year-old's representatives, hoping to edge ahead of what could be a heated transfer window for the 22-year-old Atletico Bilbao star. Now to England, their manager Thomas Tuchel says his mother views some of Jude Bellingham's on-field behavior as repulsive, but he believes any critics of the Real Madrid midfielder do not know the special boy he does. Now Bellingham was angered by the VAR decision to rule out his second half goal in Tuesday's friendly against Senegal when England were 2-1 down. Now England eventually lost that game by 3-1 at the City ground, and it was Thomas Tuchel's first defeat in charge of the English national team.
No, he has the fire, and I don't want to dim this down. I don't want to he should play with this kind of fire. That's his strength. But the fire comes also with some attributes that can intimidate you. Maybe even as a teammate. Maybe and that you see sometimes the explosion towards referees and the anger in his game. So if he can channel this in the right way, and we can help him in this, then for sure he has the something that we need, and he has a certain edge that is hard to find.
Well, Tuchel, however, has called on fans of England not to panic despite the 3-1 defeat to Senegal on Tuesday. Now, the former Chelsea boss believes the Three Lions will be competitive in the World Cup qualifiers.
There's no need to panic. We have 3 qualification games. We have 9 points and not conceded. And we will be competitive. And we will be competitive in September. And we will go for 2 more victories, 100%.
Meanwhile, captain of the Three Lions, Harry Kane, believes there is no need to be skeptical about the team following their 3-1 defeat to the Teranga Lions.
It's a disappointing night for sure. It's not time to panic because there's stuff that we know we need to work on. But of course, coming up to September, we want to start to get it right because once the new season starts, the World Cup is soon around the corner. So it's down to us and the coach to just try and work on areas to improve.
Well, that is Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane. He has flown to the United States to join his teammates for the FIFA Club World Cup. Talking about the FIFA Club World Cup, Raheem Sterling, João Felix, Axel Disasi and Ben Chilwell have been left out of Chelsea's squad for the tournament, while Jack Grealish has not been selected by Manchester City. Now, England forward Grealish was expected to miss out, with the 29-year-old having started only 7 games in the 2024-2025 season. Now, City's 27-man squad also does not include former captain Kyle Walker. Talking about Manchester City, they have confirmed the signing of AC Milan midfielder Tijani Reinders for an initial fee of £46.5 million on a 5-year contract. The Netherlands international is Pep Guardiola's 4th summer signing, with Ryan Aït-Nouri, Marcos Bettinelli and Ryan Cherki having also joined the club. Elsewhere, Sporting have not received an offer for striker Victor Gyökeres, and there is no gentleman's agreement for him to leave for £59 million, says club president Federico Varandas. Now, Sweden international Gyökeres has been heavily linked with Manchester United and Arsenal after scoring 97 goals in 102 games during his 2 seasons in Portugal. He has a €100 million release clause in his contract. Marseille have also reached an agreement in principle to sign England midfielder Angel Gomez on a free transfer. The French club had been in talks with the 24-year-old, who announced in May he would leave Lille when his contract expires in the summer. Now, Premier League clubs Tottenham and West Ham were also linked with Gomez, but he has chosen to remain in the League One. Finally, to the NBA, the Indiana Pacers recovered to beat the Oklahoma City Thunders 116-107 in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. This means that the Indiana Pacers need 2 more wins to be crowned champions of the NBA in 2025. That will be all for sports this morning. My name is Lukman Evergreen Moment. Business Breakfast on Zed continues with Trebi Hammond.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Dream home. No interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estate's exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest repayment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle choice. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5040 or 020-141-8622. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. T&C Supply. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Right, 27 to the top of the hour. This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM with me, Nee Trebi Hammond. Welcome back. I'm enjoying the high life in the background. Unfortunately, I don't know who sang the song, so I'm unable to give the shout out. But if you're the one and you're listening, big shout outs to you. Very, very, very powerful tune. Alright, earlier on you had Samuela Inchi with business news. And also Lukman Evergreen Moon came your way with Sports Flash. It's now time for us to get into our business brief for the day. Please stick and stay and don't go nowhere. Let's get into it. Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us here this morning. Today we're focusing on the psychology of betting and its impact on youth. Now, let's be real. Betting isn't new. We've always had lotto kiosks, football score predictions, and that one uncle who swore his dream last night meant he would win the banker today. But what are we seeing now? But what we are seeing now, it's different. It's bigger, it's digital, it's addictive, and it's quietly becoming a national concern. Now, let me paint a picture for you. Now, it's 7:30 a.m. in Kaswa. And a 24-year-old wakes up, grabs his phone, not to read a scripture, not to check email, but to place a bet on a Serbian league match he's never watched, on teams he's never heard of. Why? Because last night he saw an influencer say, this odds combo is fire. And don't miss it. He stakes 10 Ghana cedis, he wins 65 cedis. Excitement fills the room and he is hooked. By the end of the week, he has lost 230 cedis. He's not alone. There are several people like the gentleman I'm talking about. Now let's talk numbers. According to a 2023 study by the Center for Gambling Research in Africa, Ghana is now among the top 3 African countries with the highest number of young people engaged in betting. Over 45% of Ghanaian youth between 15 and 35 have bet at least once in the past year. Among university students surveyed in Accra and Kumasi, over 30% admitted they bet regularly, and some more than once a day. Now think about that. In a country where youth unemployment is hovering around 14%, betting is not just an option, it's being marketed as a way out. But here's the truth, betting isn't opportunity. It's a cleverly designed illusion. And I think that everybody must know this. So why is it so hard to stop once you start? Well, psychologists call it variable reinforcement. Basically, you win just enough to think you are getting close. But you lose often enough to keep chasing. It's the same principle that is used in slot machines and video games. Now, according to a professor who is a psychologist at Nottingham Trent University, Professor Mark Griffith, who studies gaming and addiction, he says that it's not the money people are addicted to. It's the excitement, the dopamine hit, the feeling that a win is just around the corner. That is what people are addicted to. In other words, betting tricks your brain into thinking you are in control, when in reality, the house always wins. I remember chatting with a young man in Spintech some time back. Bright guy, completed uni, job hunting, full of dreams. And he told me, boss, I don't drink. I don't womanize. But betting, that one I can't stop. He said something that struck me, or that stuck with me really. He said that sometimes betting gives me hope. I don't have a job, but at least I have a ticket. Friends, this is very, very heartbreaking. We've reached a point where betting is not about games, it's about coping. And guess who is capitalizing on it? Betting companies. Now, these brands know exactly what they are doing. They use some sleek mobile apps that are faster than the most banking platforms, social media influencers, some with millions of followers, to promote sure odds, free airtime, and some bonus packages to hook their users. And this isn't just marketing, it's psychological engineering. They are not just selling a product, they are selling hope in a bottle. Every day to a generation that is hungry for success, but blocked by systemic barriers. Now here's the irony. The 10 Ghana cedis they used to bet, it could have gone to mobile data for freelancing job, transport to a job interview, investments in a small business idea, or something. But instead, it is being funneled into an industry that that gave Ghana's government 1.5 billion Ghana cedis in tax revenue a few years back, while giving most users nothing in return. Now, I'm not here to shame anyone, not the young man placing bets, not a business trying to survive, but I'm here to raise a flag. Because when our youth begin to believe that success is a matter of luck, we kill the spirit of innovation. We trade productivity for prediction, and we trade sweat for slip codes. And we cannot build a Ghana we dream of on that foundation. So very soon we're going to get into our roundtable discussion, and this morning we'll throw some light on this. There's a lot at stake in all of these things that we're talking about. Mental health, depression, anxiety, addiction. Many young people are struggling with these things silently. Education and employment. School fees are being staked. CVs are gathering dust, and what have you. Talk about entrepreneurship. Instead of starting something real, they are stuck chasing odds. And I see a lot of people on Twitter and all of that chasing odds. And then there's national development. If our next generation bets more than they build, who is going to lead us forward? Now, James Clear says something some time ago. He says that you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fail to the level of your system. Betting is a system, and a broken one at that. So what do we do as business leaders, investors, tech innovators? We are not helpless. There are a lot of things that we can do. We're not going to focus so much on that particular one during our conversation this morning, but these are some of the things. You can fund financial literacy programs that teach youth the difference between risk and recklessness. You can design tech solutions that redirect betting behavior into savings, investments, or even some gamified learnings You can offer mentorship and microfunding to young people with ideas but no access. You can advocate for responsible advertising regulations, especially during youth programs and football matches. And above all, let's create alternatives to betting, because hope isn't bad, but false hope is. So let's give our youth something better to believe. And that's exactly what we'll be discussing at today's roundtable. We've got a psychologist coming through and a few other people who are also going to be on the panel. And we're going to discuss some of these things very well. So please don't go anywhere. Stick and stay here. This is Business Breakfast on Zed, and this will be all for our Business Brief segment. Up next is Transport Today with Solomon Tetenate. Stay tuned.
This is the pre-boarding announcement for flight 3728.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right, thank you very much. Solomon Tetenate is seated and is ready to bring us Transport Today. Solo, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Nee. I'm doing very well by the grace of God. What about you?
I'm doing very well too. Oh, good to see you.
We thank God. We thank God.
All right. So tell us, what do you have for us today?
All right. So I'm taking you through the flight schedules for today, and then we look at the traffic situation in town, and then what is trending in the aviation sector. So let me start with the flight schedules for today. And I'm starting with Passion Air Accra to Kumasi. Passion Air Accra to Kumasi. The morning schedules are 6:20 a.m., 8:50 a.m. and 11:20 a.m. Passion Air Accra to Kumasi. The morning schedules are 6:20 a.m., 8:50 a.m. and 11:20 a.m. And then the afternoon schedules are 1:50 p.m. and 4:20 p.m. 1:50 p.m. and 4:20 p.m. And then the evening schedule is 7:20 p.m. So in all, we have 6 flights available for Accra to Kumasi Passion Air. 3 are available in the morning, and then 2 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. It takes 40 minutes to get to your destination. Passion Air Accra to Kumasi. Now, Passion Air Accra to Takoradi, the morning schedule is 6:20 a.m. and then the afternoon schedule is 4:20 p.m. The morning schedule is 6:20 a.m. and then the afternoon schedule is 4:20 p.m. Passion Air Accra to Takoradi. It takes 50 minutes to get to your destination. Now, Accra to Sunyani Passion Air has only one flight available for the day at 9:10 a.m. 9:10 a.m. Passion Air Accra to Sunyani, and it takes 1 hour to get to your destination. Accra to Wa Passion Air. Accra to Wa Passion Air has only one flight available for the day at 9:50 a.m. 9:50 a.m. Accra to Wa Passion Air. It takes 1 hour 40 minutes to get to your destination. Now, Passion Air Accra to Tamale. Passion Air Accra to Tamale, the morning schedule is 6 a.m. and then the afternoon schedules are 12:20 p.m. and 4 p.m. The morning schedule is 6 a.m. and then the afternoon schedules are 12:20 p.m. and 4 p.m. Accra to Tamale Passion Air. It takes 1 hour 20 minutes to get to your destination. So these are the flight schedules for Passion Air, Accra to Takoradi, Accra to Kumasi, Accra to Sunyani, and then Accra to Tamale. Let's look at Africa World Airlines, how their schedules also looks like today. So Africa World Airlines Accra to Kumasi. Africa World Airlines Accra to Kumasi. The morning schedules are 6:20 a.m., 7:20 a.m., 8:40 a.m., 9:40 a.m. and 11 a.m. The morning schedules for Africa World Airlines Accra to Kumasi are 6:20 a.m., 7:20 a.m., 8:40 a.m., 9:40 a.m. and 11 a.m. And then the afternoon schedules are 1:20 p.m., 2:10 p.m., and 3:10 p.m. 1:20 p.m., 2:10 p.m., and 3:10 p.m. And then the evening schedule is 7 p.m. So these are the schedules for Africa World Airlines Accra to Kumasi. It takes 40 minutes to get to your destination. Accra to Takoradi Africa World Airlines. Accra to Takoradi Africa World Airlines. The morning schedule is 7:20 a.m. And then the afternoon schedules are 12 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. The morning schedule is 7:20 a.m. and then the afternoon schedules are 12 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. It takes 40 minutes to get to your destination. There's no evening flight for Africa World Airlines Accra to Takoradi. Accra to Tamale Africa World Airlines. Accra to Tamale Africa World Airlines. The morning schedules are 6:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. Africa World Airlines Accra to Tamale. And then the afternoon schedules are 12:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. So these are the flight schedules for today. Let's look at the traffic situation in town. So let's look at the traffic situation in town around Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, Atomic Junction, heading towards UPS Junction. The traffic is building up slowly around that area. If you are using, or if you are coming from Adenta, Medina, or if you are coming from Atomic Junction, there's a bit traffic. It's a smooth traffic around where Presbyterian Boys Secondary School is located, heading towards the UPS Junction. So if you are using that route, you should take note of that. From Okpongro to Shiashi is also busy at the moment. Okpongro to Shiashi is very busy at the moment. If you are from Medina, or if you are from the University of Ghana heading towards Shiashi, Accra, if you are going to airports, any of these areas, if you get to Okponglo, you are going to experience traffic from that side to Shiashi. Is very intense at the moment. So if you are using the Legon Road, you should take note of that. The traffic starts from the Magdan Group, where the Magdan Group is located, past the Ghana Standard Authority to Shiashi, the Tetekwashi interchange. So you should take note of that. Airport bypass is also busy at the moment. Airport bypass road is busy at the moment. If you are using that route coming from maybe Spintex, you should take note of that. And also on the motorway, where the Action Chapel International is located to the Accra Mall, is also busy at the moment. It's actually building up slowly. It's not that intense, but it's building up slowly. So if you're using the Accra Aflao Road or the motorway, right from, if you're coming from Tema or if you're coming from Ashaman, right from where Action Chapel International is located to Accra Mall, the traffic is building up slowly over there, so you should take note of that. So I think that's the traffic situation around that area. 37 Military Hospital is also building up if you're heading towards the Jubilee House, right from where the 37 Military Teaching Hospital is located. The traffic is building up slowly. It's a smooth traffic, so you could maneuver your way out over there. So that's the traffic situation at the moment. Let's look at what is trending in the aviation sector. So the domestic airlines set to reduce airfares as Ghana cedi strengthens. So Ghana's two main domestic airlines, and that's Africa World Airlines and Passion Air, have announced plans to reduce airfares on all major domestic routes in response to the recent strong performance of the Ghana cedi against the US dollar. So the strengthening of the local currency has led to a notable decline in aviation fuel prices, offering a rare opportunity for airlines to pass on cost savings to passengers. And this is a good news for Ghanaians, for the reduction. The announcement was made during the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority's stakeholders breakfast meeting yesterday. That is Wednesday, June 11, 2025. So speaking at the event, the Captain Kwesi Oten, and he is the Chief Operating Officer of the Africa World Airlines, stated that passengers can expect fare reductions in the coming month, attributing the move to the favorable economic conditions currently prevailing. And also, Captain Oten assured Africa World Airlines that Africa World Airlines has closely monitored the currency trends and fuel price movement. So with the current strength of the cedi, he noted that the airlines are in a position to pass on the benefit to valued passengers. So he said that expect lower fares from next month, and that's coming from the chief operating officer of Africa World Airlines. So that's what is trending in the aviation sector. And also, Silver Airways has announced that it has ceased operations. The airline, which primarily operated flights out of Florida using ATR 42 and ATR 72 twin turboprop aircraft, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection at the end of 2024, and its fortunes have not improved since the turn of the year. So they have announced that they are going to cease operation from yesterday. So I read the statement they sent to their passengers or the public. They said, "We regret to inform you that we are ceasing operations as of today," and that's yesterday, June 11, 2025. In an attempt to restructure in bankruptcy, Silver entered into a transaction to sell its assets to another airline holding company, which unfortunately has determined not to continue Silver's flight operations in Florida. And so this is coming from the airline and stating that as of yesterday, they have ceased operation and they are not going to operate in Florida anymore. And that's what is trending in the aviation sector. Thank you so much, Ni, for having me today.
Thank you to Solomon Tetenati, my colleague here, bringing us transport today. Well, up next is market trends, and Imano Batinga, in-house economic analyst, will be joining me very soon for that conversation. But we'll take a quick music break. When we return, the show continues.
Okay, yes. One time. Let me see you do that thing. Alright. Over to the left. Alright. Over to the right. Alright. Shake it to the side. Alright. You got that searching light. Alright. Over to the left. Alright. Over to the right. Alright. Shake it to the side. Alright. You got that searching light. Alright. I need you, baby. Just wanna make you mine. I want you, baby. Girl, you look so fine. Brighten up my life and I will. Anything you want for you. Baby, you make my dream come true. say we play day. I be there with the yes, it talks your dog. Guys, the other woman team and now or don't who is a spirit to compare. And I said, I did that to kind of good. I want you to see again in the field now. I'm going to the man for my Johnny Jano for the land to one. And that's the day. What we see and this water. Why do you boom them dead? Boom them dead. When you go swing to the left, swing to the right, shake your body, we're gonna do it all night. To the left, swing to the right, shake your body, we're gonna do it all night. Step up, wanna move your butt, rock down and do it non-stop. Just make your booty clap. What? Go, yeah, where you whining, keep on turning, you got me shaking. Now you're falling, yeah, where you whining, keep on turning, baby, you got me shaking. And now you're falling. I need you, baby. Just wanna make you mine. I want you, lady. Girl, you look so fine. Brighten up my life and I will. Anything you want for you. Baby, you make my dream come true. I won't let you go. If you love me so, don't you let me go. Baby, the things you that do, they kill me. Oh, I won't let you go.
Of course, the Throwback Thursday. Welcome back to the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. The song in the background is Quata Baby. The song does is Wadi. Alright, anyway, if you know you can own your own house in just 2 years with no interest repayment. Yes, that is possible. Only with Lakeside Estate. We have an exclusive offer for you. Yes, and you can own your own house in just 2 years with no interest repayment. So 2 years from now, you can. And all of that is brought to you by Lakeside Estate. This offer we have for you gives you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle choice. And you also get to choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of the Lakeside Hills clusters. So indeed, your future awaits. Just imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without any burden of interest. Just imagine. Well, as a CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the fourth time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. All you have to do is to call us today. And the number to call is 020-477-5042. 020-477-5042. Or 020-477-5040. 020-477-5040. Or 050-1418622. 050-1418622. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour of our available homes. Lakeside Estate, quality home for all.
This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM.
Zed 101.9 FM.
All right, we get into our market trends segments very soon. But just before that, please enjoy this one. We'll be right back.
It's really hard to understand these babies these days. It's so hard. It's so hard, yeah. My baby know they care again. She know they call again. When I call, she know they call me back again. And she want me still assume. So she's alright. Yeah. When I call, she know they pick. And that they make me sick. It's been too hard to reach her. And she want me still assume. Say she's okay. Where my baby there? As I'm wailing every day. Hoping say she still gon' come my way. Where my baby there? Question I ask.
I'm okay. Stop meaning me, I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't you think about me? Don't you think about me?
We used to flex like siblings. I was like your brother and you were my sister in. Oh, this is not what I was picturing. Girl, I should have wrecked you from the beginning. Yeah. Is this love? Was it love? Has it ever been love? Girl, I'm truly missing you. Girl, you know me coulda never diss you. Woman, me when you hear me out. Yeah. Do you know? Are you sure? Tell me what is going on. You gradually killing me. Remember that you used to be my healer. Oh, healer. And anytime I'm home alone, all I wanna do is call your phone. Cause I miss you to the bone. Yeah. And take this as your ringing tone. Where my baby there? As I'm wailing every day. Hoping say she still gon' come my way. Where my baby there? Yeah. Question I ask. Yeah. Don't me jam me ho, don't jam me ho. Kai unu say me ni wa ye bi do. I feel a bunny say no wa be jam me fit kuku aso anko jam me subu neni. Di unsa be o many. If I was say me don't for say me nim say usubeni. But I know it's always at last. We've come to the end of this voyage at last. Thanks a lot for all of your troubles, girl. Although yet just a tree. Echena what a free. I feel now unse umpemi.
Zed 101.9 FM.
That you be made true fear. Na me nim se me nyami to me. Oh my baby there, as I'm waiting every day. Hoping say she still gon' come my way. Oh my baby there, yeah. Oh my baby there, hoping say she still gon' come my way. Oh my baby there, as I'm waiting every day. Hoping say she still gon' come my way. Oh my baby
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Stay tuned to your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM.
As I'm waiting every day, hoping that she's
Stay tuned to your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM. Zed 101.9 FM.
That for all of your troubles, girl. Although yet there's a sea turn what a free. I feel now I won't say me. I oh. My Danny, I did them feature.
All right, exactly 11 past 8. This is the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. And it's time for us to get into our market trends conversation for today. And today, guess what? We're talking about, we're diving into one of the most talked about developments in the economy. We're talking GDP growth for the first quarter of 2025. Now, yesterday, the government statistician, Dr. Alassane Idris, who says that, I mean, he had a session and he gave some details out there. Now, according to the data, the economy grew by 5.3%, led by strong performance in agriculture, steady service sector, and pockets of resilience in manufacturing. But what does this mean beyond statistics? Is this the bounce back we've been waiting for, or maybe just a seasonal lift? Are we seeing some signs of real economic transformation, or are there some cracks beneath the surface? And why, despite agriculture's strength, is industry not keeping the pace? And to help us make sense of all of this, I'm joined by in-house economic analyst Emmanuel Boateng to have this conversation. Ima, good morning. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's a good day.
Absolutely. And we're talking about a good news.
I hope it's a good news. For some of us, we always try to find something bad in everything.
I mean, for a good reason, I believe. So,
of course.
Anyway, so let's try and understand what the figures are really. What are the headline GDP figures for the first quarter of 2025, and maybe how do they even compare to quarter one of 2024?
Okay, thank you very much. So the question you've asked me demands that I put out figures, but I'll try and see if there is a way I can also say it in words.
Sure.
And so we recorded a real GDP growth of 5.3%, as was released by the Ghana Statistical Service yesterday for the first quarter of 2025. The first quarter of 2025 is between January and March. So January, February, March, that's the first quarter. And the growth of our GDP, of our real GDP, is 5.3%. In terms of how it compares to last year, so last year will be first quarter of 2024. First quarter of 2024, the growth rate was 4.9%. And that will mean that we've seen a modest rise from 4.9% last year when we compare our performance, the same period, 4.9 to 5.3. That's about 0.4 percentage increase, as we have seen.
Yeah.
Now, that is a clear indication of a year-on-year increase or year-on-year improvement. However, when we compare this to our performance in the last quarter of 2024, which will be quarter four of 2024, it's a different story, especially because in the last quarter of 2024, the Ghanaian economy grew by 7.2%.
Okay.
And so in terms of our growth from the last quarter of 2024, we can see a slowdown in quarter-on-quarter growth, suggesting the economy is, as it were, stabilizing after a strong finish in the fiscal year 2024. What does this really mean? It simply means that the economy is growing and the economy is doing better than it was at the same time last year.
Okay.
However, it's not growing as fast as it did in the last quarter of 2024. I think this would be a good summary.
Yeah.
The economy is growing and doing better than it was doing last year for the same period. However, it's not growing as fast as it did in the last quarter of last year.
Very, very interesting. What are the specifics in terms of the sectors that were the strongest contributors to the growth?
Well, in terms of sector contribution to GDP growth, agriculture led all the sectors with about 6.6% growth. That is higher than the overall growth. And so you can see that agri was playing a major role in this very real GDP growth that we've experienced or that has been released for us. And it was driven mainly by strong crop production. Because when we talk about agri, it's made up of a lot of things. It's not just about crops. It's also about animal rearing and the rest of them. So strong crop production was a major driver of this 6.6% growth. Services followed with around 5.2% growth. That is slightly lower than the overall growth of 5.3%. So services followed. And historically, I think it is service that has been leading the growth. Service has been leading, not agriculture.
Yeah.
Service has been leading, and typically it is ICT that has been doing the magic. And service followed from agriculture, and it was ICT again. ICT, finance, and public services. They were the major drivers of the service sector growth. And then industry saw a slower growth. You can guess what? Industry was just growing at 2.3%. And that is why I was saying that, well, it's good news, but for some of us, we would always find a way to go around it, and for of course, good reasons. Because typically in economics, growth is such that agriculture leads, then industry picks up before services come in. If the agriculture is leading and services is the one that is following, and there is a certain clear path of transformation from agric to manufacturing or industry and then to services. You don't move from agriculture and then you go to services. Then there will be a missing middle, as they call it in economics. Right. And that is a trouble that we found ourselves in for a long time. Because typically, we don't even really see agriculture even taking the lead, but sometimes it comes up. And you see services consistently leading. Once in a while, when you see industry leading, it's typically coming from mining and construction. And you know, around that sector or that area, the money is in the hands of a few people. It's not in the hands of a lot of people. And so all of that raises concern. So as it were, agriculture led with 6.6%, followed by services with 5.2%, driven mainly by ICT, finance, and public services. Then industry saw a slower growth rate of 2.3%. But we know that within that, manufacturing remains strong, despite some challenges we've seen in the mining and construction sectors. And that is an indication that Ghana's economy is growing more from farming and services, with less reliance on heavy industries, which usually should be the anchor of job creation and value addition. The anchor of your job creation and value addition, which would be industry, is not growing as much as the other two. And so our economy is shifting more toward farming and services. Well, for me, it may not even be a good evidence to make that point. But in terms of how we have grown in this first quarter of this year, that is what the data is telling us. Banking, tech, and the rest of them. And less from construction and mining. This can mean a lot of things. But like I'm telling you, ideally, we should see some good growth from the industry space.
No, but so I want to get something. So what does the industry entail? When we talk about industry in this particular context, what does it entail? I know agric, like you mentioned, is not just farming, but also rearing of crops and all of that. What does the industry entail when we talk about industry in this particular context?
Okay, so industry will be made up of mining and quarrying, manufacturing, electricity, water and sewerage. Then we have construction. Yeah, I mean, these are, and then of course, maybe you can add the informal industry. I don't know how we'll call that. How typically the Ghana Fiscal Service calls it. So mining and quarrying, manufacturing, electricity, water and sewerage, construction. and then the informal industry. This is what it's made up of.
Right. And so if we are saying that they didn't experience, or maybe they experienced a slower growth, what does that really mean?
When you say what does that really mean, I want to understand what.
So
it means that compared to how, okay, I get your question. Compared to how agriculture and services were growing, the industry sector didn't grow as much. So you are comparing the growth on a year-on-year basis. So compared to how we grew in the previous year, you can see that between last year and this year, industry is only growing by 2.3%, whereas agriculture is growing by 6.6%, and services is growing by 5.2%. So it is not growing as much because we are doing a comparison across the three main sectors. You know, in the GDP distribution, it's three key sectors: agriculture, industry, and services. How well are each of these sectors growing? Agriculture is growing by 6.6%. Industry is growing by 2.3%, and services is growing by 5.2%. Clearly, you can see that industry is lagging.
Okay. I see. But tell me, how significant was the performance of the non-oil sector? And what does this tell us about the progress of Ghana's economic diversification agenda?
Very well. So the non-oil GDP, I mean, when you say the non-oil, I get that is non-oil GDP. You know, our GDP, we usually will do overall and then we'll do non-oil. In fact, in our tax revenue computation, we also do that. Tax revenue and non-oil revenue. So that is very, very key. So our non-oil GDP grew by over 5%, and it was showing strong performance in agriculture, manufacturing, and services. And so non-oil sectors, you see agriculture, manufacturing, and services, they are not oil sectors. And it confirms that Ghana, I don't know if it is really a strong confirmation, that we are not depending as much on oil. And we are also focusing on growing other parts. But that is key. We are focusing on growing other parts of the economy in addition to the strides we usually make in oil. You remember somewhere last week, I think, we had a discussion on the outlook for the oil market, the outlook for the mining sector, the outlook for, I think there's one more sector, cocoa, in terms of the global commodity market. So there was a report from the World Bank that we spoke about. And one of the findings from that report is how the oil market is going to perform this year. And we saw that oil prices are not going to really do well. And so if we are going to earn anything from oil, it's not going to be as much because those prices are not going to do well. But you see, that is why I always say that you don't only depend on what you are getting from the export of oil, but you also must pay attention to the real sectors, agriculture, industry, and services, how well you are engineering growth across those sectors. Yeah, so we are not just depending on oil anymore. Other parts of the economy are becoming stronger, which makes our economy more balanced and reduces our exposure or our risk. Because if you only depend on oil for growth, then you are susceptible to fluctuations of volatility that will be happening in the oil market.
Okay, I see. But is the current growth momentum sustainable, or are we seeing a bounce from seasonal or short-term factors, maybe like favorable weather and some of the effects after DDEP and all of that?
Okay, so Nitrabi, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so some growth, especially in agriculture, comes from good seasonal conditions. But key areas like ICT and manufacturing, and at this point, I'm sure you get it, that when I say manufacturing, I'm not talking about the industry sector.
Yeah.
The manufacturing is a sub-sector under industry, so that will be clear. They are also improving. So manufacturing, ICT, they are also improving, and they are showing some more stable long-term growth. Because, for instance, ICT, consistently, we've seen it growing consistently. One of the things that sometimes we fail to do in this country is to look at how the sub-sectors are doing. Yes, because you see, our focus is usually on the main sector and the overall GDP growth.
Okay.
when we get down, that is where really policy will be best from. Because when you get down into the subsector, that is where you'll be able to tell, okay, the country is going, but what really is leading that growth? That is very, very important. If ICT is leading your growth, then you are not really safe, properly so-called. I understand the world is moving gradually towards a tech-based world. But what is our base here? How many people are employed in that space? Where is that going to come from? If you make, I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make. Because the kind of system that you have, if you are having growth coming from ICT, is good. But how many people are being impacted by that? And I'm sure it will be one of the things that you may ask, because somebody may be listening to us. Oh, Ghana has grown by the first quarter. We grew by 5.3%, but I didn't experience anything at my end. And what, I mean, these are things that you hear every time, and people usually get sad and angry. For instance, when inflation fell to 18.4, somebody was like, but they've not changed the prices of stuff. As saying inflation has fallen. These people, they are just giving us some numbers without really helping us. Nothing is changing. And that is the whole point. Until we are able to get to the crux of it, what is driving the growth in these sectors, the policy may not be truly targeted. Because the policy must start. You see, these things is like you build from the basis and then you grow up. What we see typically is what is up there. If you don't pay attention to what is underneath, which is actually anchoring what you see up there, then your interventions may not really work well. So like I'm saying, ICT consistently has been showing growth consistently. We've seen that over and over again. Yeah, but what does this mean? We risk climate shocks and some public death concerns if we don't take care. You see, some of the growth may be temporary, maybe as a result of seasonal effects. That is true, especially when our growth is being led by crop production. But much of it, really, in my opinion, I think it's a real improvement.
Okay.
Albeit positive, I think we still need to be careful about changes that could slow us down. And let's look at it. The government should pay attention to the growth, the subsectors that are driving the growth, and anchor policies that will cause those sectors to thrive.
I see. Now, from what you said, how are other key economic indicators? We'll talk about inflation, CD stability, fiscal discipline, and maybe trade dynamics. How are these sectors, macroeconomic indicators, interacting with the GDP outcome?
Very well. You know, inflation is falling gradually, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
And in fact, it has been falling. It's 18.4 from 21.2 in the previous month. Now, it helps consumers because that consistent disinflationary path will translate into lower prices. And of course, we've seen organized labor. Let me not use organized labor. We've seen some sections of the country calling for their people to reduce prices, transport, and what have you. We've seen some people say, no, we are not going to reduce it. We've seen a number of things. But it just tells you how well the system is growing or how well we are achieving some remarkable growth. The CD remains stable largely for a greater part of this year as we have come. The CD has been stable, and I'm sure you agree with me. In fact, we are now around 10 point something. But of course, I know what is also happening around that space. I think 2 days ago, so I told you, Bank of Ghana has a rate, Abuchi has a dollar. Because when you go to the banks, when you go elsewhere, the rate quotations, there are some level of variations in there.
Yeah.
But it's all part of the thing. We know that. So we have seen some stable currency movement. Now, we've also seen beyond, let me not say beyond reasonable doubt, but of course, what we've seen so far, the government has been tight in keeping to its budget, especially as they are in check under an IMF-supported program. And we've seen that trade is also improving with more and more non-traditional exports. We've seen all of that. So as prices are becoming more stable, currency is not losing its value as fast. In fact, it has rather gained value, and the government is managing money better. It makes it easier for businesses to grow. And so if you ask how are other key macroeconomic indicators like inflation, city stability, fiscal discipline, and trade dynamics interacting with the GDP outcome, I think that all of them have been positive. And as it were, it anchors or it explains why we have seen what we have seen. Of course, I agree. A lot of people would argue that a lot of what we have seen in terms of the positive improvement has really come from, as it were, April, May, thereabouts. I think that is where we saw a lot of good entry. That should even tell us that if the situation we had before April and May, however you call it, was not as good as April and May, and it is yielding this outcome, then in our next quarter GDP, I think we will see something better. I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
And of course, we know when that would be. I just want to hint that the first quarter GDP results were released yesterday, which was 11th June. The next quarter, which is second quarter, will come 10 September 2025. And 10 September we'll be here to talk about that. And I'm saying that it given how things are going, it will be better than what we have seen in the first quarter.
Okay, all right, great. But maybe you can tell me what specific policies or reforms, whether from the IMF program or maybe some industrial policy, can be credited for the results we are seeing in quarter one.
This question is when you're answering them, then people will start marking them to specific government. Sometimes I'm a bit cool on that. But of course, there is ICT in there. So digitalization has been growing in this country. However you want to look at it, I am just stating, I'm answering your question. But since there is ICT in there, you would agree with me that it is a byproduct of gains made in the digitalization space. Okay. And so that is key, digitalization in financial services. And we've seen that. In fact, today when we go to our banks and a lot of areas in this country, you see that the digital economy is growing. In fact, we have become a notable example in the literature to some other African countries. When you write about digitalization, especially when you talk about mobile money interoperability and the rest of them, Ghana is cited. Ghana is well noted for that, and I think that is very, very important. Now, I think another thing has to do with this initiative. We need to look at it again. I have said time without number. It is a brilliant initiative, and we need to re-anchor that, which has to do with the planting for food and jobs.
Right.
There were some challenges. I don't think I'm here to dissect, go into those challenges. But we need to look at it again. Supporting that agricultural base is very, very key because we've seen growth in the agricultural space. If you ask, what is the policy that we saw over the past year that supports agriculture? It is the only thing that we could point to.
Yeah.
It is the only thing that. So we need, albeit challenges. I think it's a very wonderful initiative. When you look at it on paper, we've implemented it and we've seen how the challenges have come up. What can we do to address that in terms of the fertilizer and the rest of them? Let's look at it. Re-engineering is not bad. It's a good, as it were, theory. That has helped many economies, and we can look at it. Let's re-engineer. You see, Ghana, we need to come to a point where we move away from this thing was brought by Nifabi, the other one was brought by, and as it were, giving all credit to the person who, as it were, brought a certain idea or initiative or policy for it to be implemented in terms of attributing it to. It is part of the reasons why we are not seeing growth. An idea or a policy could be very brilliant. But a new government comes in, and because it is not attributable to them, you know what happens? It's kicked to the back. Just a few have been able to stand the test of time. And it well grounded in the law for it to live long. Otherwise, you risk losing it. You remember, you know some of them. Health insurance, those ones have been there because of what they are known to be. Some of our key policies that we were all born to come and hear about them and know about them and all. Young people also know about them. They happened when some people were not in this world. Some people didn't understand national issues and the rest of them. They've been able to stand.
Right.
But I'm sure across all the government cycles that we've had, many policies have sprung up, but not all of them stand. And I beg to differ that not all those policies that have been wiped away were bad policies. Some were intended for good. And probably some few challenges, a new government comes and it is eroded.
Yeah.
You know, heading up to the 2020, the recent election, 2024 election, one of the key questions that President Mahama had to answer was the question on whether or not he was going to cancel free SHS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? It is because of that. Because in this time, it looks like when a new government comes into power, anything that is attributable to somebody, they want to do away with it. So, no, it's part of the reasons why. That's why I'm saying that the way we do our analysis, even in this country, is a problem. Let's look at policy and how they are engineering growth, how they are bettering the lives of people without necessarily attributing it to people, so that we can objectively deal with issues and engineer the growth of this country. We do not necessarily have to say it was brought by Nitrebi, and you can see how evil Nitrebi and his party are, and they... No. Until when would we change? I mean, these things are things that we must move away from. Looking at where the world has come to, of course, I understand the political economy and what they also seek to achieve. They argue that election is not an event, it is a process, and it begins when the last election ends and the results are declared. That is okay. But we also, from this economic perspective, are also saying that there is so much at stake to gamble the life of the people, gamble the life of an economy, gamble the development of an economy on the whims and caprices of political gain. We are not in for that. Political rhetoric and theatricals. No, we do not really want much of that. It's a life that we are looking at. It's how the economy is as it were, delivering development for the people.
Right.
Yeah, you were coming in.
Yeah, I was going to say that governance is a continuum, something. So we
exactly.
need to.
But I'm sure it's not like I'm afraid, but I don't really want to state specific examples, because you see, when I do, people will start picking it and linking it to specific people who were in government at the time.
Yeah.
And that is the trouble that we have. You cannot even have a conversation with a colleague of equal standing, and they will not attribute it to government. You see, I'm not using political parties. Intentionally, I'm doing that. And we must move away from that. You see, the development of this country, I've said it time without number, it's in the hands of us, of the people of Ghana. I've told you, IMF has never developed any country. Check all the countries that IMF supports. It is the reason for the development of even one. And let's have a discussion. None. World Bank has not done so. Every country that has grown and developed did so on its own. There are prices to be paid. There are sacrifices to be made before we get there. And we must intentionally decide to do such. If we want to go about in cycles of NDC, MPP, NDC did this, MPP are better managers of the economy, and the rest of them, no, they are not going to get anywhere. We'll end up relegating minds that could have helped to develop this country. We can't leave this country in the hands of the political economy. It's not enough. It's not sufficient.
Right. Okay, Ima, let's try and wrap up. So looking ahead, what should be the priorities of policymakers, maybe businesses and investors, to sustain and also broaden this growth
into... Suffering. Attention must be paid to industry. Industry is really suffering. It's a missing piece that we must work on.
Right.
There was this industrial policy. I think I've forgotten about it. It was led by the then Minister for Industry, the Honorable Alan Kudus-Bantin.
Okay.
There was one of such policy. 1D, 1F. Good. Where is it? where is that policy? Gradually, gradually it will be history. That is not what you see. All of these policies have challenges, and clearly there are challenges. What do we do? Do we abandon them because show one policy that didn't have any challenge? Of course, I agree. There are variations in the magnitude of challenges. There are. But rather than abandon, okay, maybe let me come clear on what I'm speaking from. Do you know how much it costs to implement a policy and abandon it and start something new altogether with massive costs through infrastructure, investments, and the rest of them? It is costing us a lot to be abandoning policies that were hitherto being implemented by others. It's costing us a lot. And I don't think it's a path we need to. So we need to focus on that. Our infrastructure is weak, irrigation. We need to also keep our eye on how we are being disciplined in terms of our budget and our expenditure kind of thing. And businesses should also invest in agro-processing. We are not seeing a lot of value addition. That is why industry is suffering. We are not seeing that. Is it possible that agriculture has picked up, but a lot of the things that are coming from agriculture, we are just exporting them, and it's not feeding into processing, further processing and value addition, and therefore jobs are not created along that value chain? Is it possible? It is likely. We need to pay attention to that.
Definitely.
To keep growing, we need to support farming all year round. We need to build better roads.
Right, Ima, thank you very much for your time. Our time is up. We have to go.
Welcome.
Right, Ima, thank you very much for your time. Our time is up. We have to go.
Welcome.
Please enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Well, and that was Emmanuel Boateng, our in-house economic analyst, helping us understand, decode really Ghana's Q1 2025 GDP surge, looking at the sectors, the various sectors, the economic signals, and also some of the policy pathways that we must look at. It's a very rich conversation. It's on our YouTube at Zed Multimedia and also on Facebook at ZFMGH. You can visit these platforms and you can watch it. Yeah, but thank you very much for staying till this point. I'm still driving you till 9:55, and we're getting into our roundtable discussion pretty shortly. But we'll take a quick music break. When we return, my guest will join me in studio. And today we're talking about the psychology of betting. Betting is a canker. What are the effects psychologically? How do people even get addicted? How can they even come out of it? We're going to discuss all of these things. What does it do to our economy? These are very, very important things that we must have conversations on. And I'm going to be joined by a psychologist, mental health advocate, also a youth advocate. And we're going to have a very great conversation you don't want to miss. So please don't go anywhere. Stick and stay here. Tell a friend to tell her. Our roundtable discussion very, very soon. Let's take a quick music break and we'll be right back.
Chama me uniema, hey, I'm passing suamo buauru. Oni mania yo sansu adia wai. I reckon teidia mi hubiro. China mame uniema, hey, I'm passing suamo buauru. Oni mania yo sansu adia wai. Your love took me by surprise, and it's a fact that I can't deny. Someone please tell me why. Me I feel pay the price now. Your love took me by surprise, and it's a fact that I can't deny. Someone please tell me why. Me I feel pay the price now. Sa 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 to sa 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 to sa 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 to sa. Then one cool to sa 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 to sa 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 to sa 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 to sa. Then one cool me. Kebo baya, kebo baya. Boy, I'm a song. Kebo baya, kebo baya. fefeo. Ah, lobby pempeo. Ogomo choco fefeo. Coco que mi bafe. Coco que mi bafe. Coco que mi bafe. Coco que mi bafe.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Oh yeah, yeah. Love goes where love is. I can't deny it. If you feeling it, come and join us, sing a song. Hey, chincha, mame uniema. Hey, I'm passing suamu auru. Oni madia yo sansu adia wai. Orekente idia mi hubiro. China mame unyama. Hey, I'm passing suamu auru. Oni madia yo sansu adia wai. Orekente idia mi hubiro. Your love took me by surprise, and it's a fact that I can't deny. Someone please tell me why. Me I feel pay the price now. Your love took me by surprise, and it's a fact that I can't deny. Someone please tell me why. Me I feel pay to sa. Oh, then no one cool me. Kebo baya. Oh, you're my song. Kebo baya. Oh, you're my song. Hello, summa fe. Kebo bi koni me. Lobby pempeo. Ogomo choco fefeo. Ah, lobby pempeo. Ogomo choco fefeo. Coco que mi bafe. Coco que mi bafe. Coco que mi bafe. Coco que mi bafe. Sa to sa.
101.9 FM.
All right, exactly 7 to the top of the hour. This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. Welcome back. Time for us to get into our roundtable discussion. And this morning we're about the phone lines. I have Jessica Osei-Osu. She's a psychologist. She's a youth advocate as well, and the founder of Yishai Foundation. I hope I got that right. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you, Stanislaus.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah. Good to see the two of you. Now let me also hear from Jessica. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making time to speak to us this morning. You're most welcome. All right, let's get into our conversation. And I'm going to start with you. Okay. So first of all, tell us, who's a change influencer before we get into it?
Okay, so I usually like to be very different. So I realized that, the youth of today, there's a lot of change that needs to happen, right? So I decided that, okay, I would be that change. That's why I said a change influencer. Hence, you see an influencer. So, because I have experienced a lot of things. Even this topic we're going to talk about, it's something that, if you don't try it, you can't talk about it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So I feel like if I can change myself, I can find ways to influence other youth to also change. Because honestly, in this age, everything is about influencing.
Right.
How people buy stuff is influencing. What people wear is influencing. What people believe to be good. Honestly, our morals are changing based on what social media or influencers are showing online. You get hence the change influencer.
Yeah. Interesting. So there are influencers for brands, but you have decided that you'll be an influencer.
To use myself as a case study to show people that you can actually intentionally build yourself, intentionally create, your future, intentionally create yourself into what you imagine. Yeah, I believe that when you dream it and you work towards it, you can.
What are some of the things you've done in the past, or some of the changes you've influenced?
Okay, so I'm going to say this. A lot of people know that, but growing up, how would I say? I've always had this leadership thing in me, but I took it for granted, honestly. And even in SHS, I lost my way. You get so
we have it. I can relate. Just go ahead.
I lost my way, and then so my peers were all ahead of me because everybody was going to uni trying to make something of themselves, but I was like kind of laid back, sideline, like backtracked.
Yeah.
And then but then 5 years after SHS, right? After like hitting left and right and all of that, I decided that no, I have to do something about myself. So the first thing I did was immediately I entered university. I said that no, I am going to make something of myself in this uni. You get it? I'm going to do well in my academics, and after that, I am going to be somebody who's known in the whole school. Wow. So like people were thinking about how to get hostels and how to get slides and all of that. I was thinking about how I can be the SRC president of my school, and I did it.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, because from my first year, I intentionally planned everything. So I'll tell you, it's funny. So I missed my first class, and then I was like, okay, if I am to rise up, I have to become a course rep. So this is something I say is very funny. So I think I've told a few people. So I walked into my class very late, dressed all smart, and then I intentionally wore shoes that make noise. So I was holding a bag like a lecturer, and I was just making like, you see that sound? Yeah, sound. So there was a commotion in the class, and then immediately they saw me. Everybody just kept quiet because they thought I was a lecturer. So at that time they had a course rep already, but then I wanted to go for what I want.
Right.
So I just walked into the class, and then immediately everybody kept quiet. I walked to the podium, and I put the bag down.
That was bold.
Very bold. So I was like, I looked at everybody with a mean stare, and everybody was quiet for like 30 seconds. I was like, guys, relax. I am your
one of
coursemate.
you.
Everybody started laughing, and then immediately I put in a bid that, I want to be a course rep. And see, the way I came in, people just liked me.
liked it.
And then immediately there was an election.
The charisma.
And then they push off the other person to be my assistant.
The one they had already
Exactly. Yeah. So you see, from then I kept on doing things intentionally, going to programs, gaining exposure, things I was doing to achieve my goal. Yeah. So after that, there are a few things also that I've done, but then I think that is a major thing that has propelled me into what I am today. And then I always use that particular time as I intentionally worked for that. I built it for 3 years, and it wasn't easy, but because I had a good 3-year foundation, all those who came against me had no chance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Change influencer, Elliot. Anyway, great story. I mean, I can relate. I was vice president. But which university were you in?
University of Professional Studies.
Oh, UPSC.
Yeah,
Okay.
UPSC.
I was in University of Ghana with Stanislaus.
Okay.
He was my senior, right? Yeah, he was my senior. All right, good to see have all of you, and that was a very good a very good story. Well, let's get into the conversation this morning. We're talking about betting, gambling, and all of these stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think is actually making young people get into this? And I'm going to start with you, Elliot, because you are a youth advocate.
Okay.
You can speak for the young people. You know, and you say if you don't even do it, you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Means you probably found yourself in that space.
Yeah.
Tell us, what exactly is driving a lot of young people into this?
So I would say the first thing that I would note is young people are doing all of this because of get rich quick. Do you get it? Everybody wants to be rich quick. Do you get it? That's the first thing. And second thing is peer pressure. You get it? And third thing is the betting companies are all in our face nowadays. And just like I said, change influencer. Right now, there are people influencing that. People that the youth look up to. Do you get it? They are influencing it and making it feel like it's an easy way out. And then youth, we want an easy way out.
Right.
Hence, you see our age, there's remote jobs. Everybody wants like an easy path. So basically, right currently, it's in their faces. Do you get it? And then, the poor state of the economy over the past few years exactly has also pushed students, youth, and people of our age to because as youth we would always find a way to come out, right? And then that's where these betting companies come in and then present these things as a savior.
Right.
Do you get it? So I would say those are a few of the things. Yeah, a few of the things that.
Stanis, let me bring you into the conversation now. What do you think too? Do you think that these are the same things that are influencing, or do you have any of them to add?
Yeah, I'll just tie it into a psychology principle, classical conditioning, right? So classical conditioning tells us that when you repeatedly pair a stimuli and then something that is neutral with something that already elicits a response, you're going to get people following that path. So for example, like he said, they are using influential people now to advertise betting, right? So you see Real Madrid players doing adverts for Sporty TV. Automatically, I go like, okay, so Vasquez, Militao are all into sport betting. That's like a young person growing up. This is the mentality. I like Real Madrid, so I think I should like sports. I should like betting as well because they also bet. And so on and so forth. So that is one principle that they are using a lot. And most of these conversations are psychological if you think about it. They have figured a way to break into the human psyche, motivation, the brain's reward pathways. I think get into the conversation, more light to be thrown on those things. And because the human being wants what he wants, right? Like he said, get rich quick. There is a certain motivation for me to get rich. There's a way I can get rich. My brain is excited there. And that is always going to tie them into the betting addiction. Yeah.
But how widespread do you think the problem really is? And are we talking about enough? Stanislaus?
So, this is very, very important. Recently, I watched a documentary on DWTV. It's a global something. So, that documentary featured people in the UK, the US, and it was on gambling addiction. So, the I don't know if it's a pandemic or I don't know, I think it's doing a lot of harm to people, right? So it goes from people. So in the documentary, they stated that people's finances, like your salary, goes into it, and over there they give debit cards right? So you can get a debit card, which is not your money. Like money is like borrowed money.
Yeah.
So you get your borrowed money and then you invest it again into the betting company. And now the betting company knows the psychology that people are operating with. So even when they realize that the debit cards have been exhausted, then they give you a promo. So if you are, let's say, a patron, they give you maybe $100, $200 free bets. So you can just come back and then get your Brains Reward Pathways triggered again. So it means when you go inside and you exhaust the promo bet, you would want to reinvest capital into it. So I think it's the motivation and then the get rich quick also. It's just there and then it's eating into it's worldwide. And I think it's about time we started having this conversation and then looking for interventions tailored to at least halt the dopamine flow and then get people to step back and say, yo, like, this is not going to do me any good long term. Yeah.
Do you think people don't know the things you're saying, and that is why they still get involved in betting?
So they may know, but there is something about the mind, right? If you get excited, that is like emotions over reason. Yeah, automatically when you are very excited, it's emotions over reason. So we need to get people to come back and think again. Right. So we get reason to come over emotions. And if we're able to do that, we realize that, and that is going to start by some of these conversations. Some of these conversations are just going to put people, like the change influencer said, I think he will shed more light on that as well. But if you're able to lay back, relax, all the dopamine will settle. And when you settle, you have a clear conscience to think. And when you are thinking, you know that, okay, I've been trying this for this number of years, this number of months. Where have I gotten to? Have I been able to attain anything substantive? If the answer is no, then it means that you are trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. That would be insanity, right? So we need to just lay back, have some of these conversations, get people to be aware of what it is they are entering blindly. Because some people may know, some people may also be in it, and then the impulse that comes with it. Yeah, betting is impulse driven. So because of how excited you are, because of how charged you are, sometimes it's like my last 10 CDs, if I get 10 odds, I can get 100 CDs. I'm going all out. And so you risk it all. And then there's one funny thing betting does to you. You feel like, oh God, today's the time. You're about winning. And all of a sudden you realize that no, it ain't happened. So all the excitement now becomes... It just deflates. And then you enter a state of guilt, shame, and depression. So I think we need to sensitize people again, get them to understand what they may already know, and those who are oblivious of the fact that these things are things that would hurt them long term, we start initiating the conversation so that they can also follow, and then they can re-amend and readjust their ways.
I see. Let me bring in Jessica into the conversation now. Jessica, are you still with us?
Yes, right here.
All right, great. Jessica, do you think that betting is a problem psychologically, or can it be a harmless entertainment? Or when does it even become harmful?
So, regarding the youth especially and their brain, okay, I think this is really good because we really need to be particular about our youth, especially because their brain is still developing, especially in the areas of what we call the prefrontal cortex. So this is what's responsible for impulse control, long-term decision making, and planning. And this part of the brain is not fully developed. Unlike the limbic system. Okay, so with the limbic system, it governs reward, pleasure, and excitement. So this part of the brain is fully active, okay, or highly active. So as you rightly note, there's an imbalance. So the young people are more prone to the risky reward-seeking behavior without assessing or analyzing what really the impact is long-term. So with this analogy, we get to know that they are highly prone to risky behaviors or behaviors that wouldn't yield any long-term any long-term results positively. So yes, there is a very negative, impact, especially in that regard.
So it can be a harmless entertainment. If you're engaging in betting, it definitely has an effect on you. That's what you're saying.
So normally it would often start as, just for fun, placing a small bet on a football match with friends. But over time, that small thrill can grow into compulsion. And here's why. So every time a person places a bet, the brain releases dopamine. Well, yeah, it's a neurotransmitter. So it's more or less a feel-good hormone. So, and the trick is, whether you win or you lose, the excitement or the reason that you are actually going to win or you may win, dopamine is still released. So whether you win or you lose, dopamine is still released. So that constant stimulation rewires the brain to crave the high or the thrill of the game. So it turns out that it's not really just for the win, but just the excitement, whatever I win.
Right.
So the danger is that people begin to chase, the losses. They feel like, okay, I must win this back, or there's a high probability I may win it back. And like my colleagues also stated that these people will also compare themselves with influencers, people who are already rich, whose faces are being used for arts and all of that. And they feel like, oh, I may actually someday be like that. Luck may be on my side, And 1 minute they become addicted because of this dopamine release, and they start to hide their behavior. They start to borrow money to bet. Anxiety, develops, restlessness, depression, and then it's no longer a game. Now it becomes an addiction.
I see. Very, very interesting. We're fortunate to have Elliot here. Now, Elliot came in as a youth advocate, ready to speak on the matter, but since he also has experience and is willing to share, we'll give him the opportunity. So, like Jessica just said, people just go into it thinking, oh, I just want to play a game and all of that. Maybe you want to share with us, Elliot, how did you land yourself in gambling or betting?
Okay, so this thing usually happens at bad times. Do you get it? Times when you are down. So I just lost my mom, and then things were not so well, right? So I was depressed. I was like honestly going through a lot, but I'm not somebody who processes things outside, like outward. I process it inside. You would see me, I would be going through a lot, and I would be smiling. I would be dressed nice. I would be looking nice, but then I'm actually going through a lot. So I went to visit a friend because I just wanted to clear my head, and then I'm not going to mention the friend's name, but so like he is someone who is into it. You get it? He is someone who's doing it, and I'm going to tell you some things he even does. So basically, we didn't have money that day, right? And then I had never played any of that game before. So what happened was he just told me that, oh, Aviator, right?
It was Aviator.
Exactly. I can double my money. So I was like, oh, really? Teach me, because if I have 100 cedis and I can double it, or I can triple it, or I can make it into like ×5, that means that we have money for the week or for 2 weeks. Exactly. So he downloaded it for me, and then I just dived right in. And trust me, Easy, I feel like the algorithms on these apps, when you start, they know. That's what some youths don't know. These are well-placed apps. Do you get it? They are apps that are placed to suck you in. So I don't know, but I feel that the algorithm realized that I was new. Do you get it? So honestly, I put in, like, I had 80 cedis, right? And I put that in, and then my friend told me to do the double thing. Do you get it?
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's,
I don't know
it's something you do.
Is.
It's like the app is trying to tell you that you can be smart in the sense that you can put 5 CD here, 5 CD here. Okay. It's doubling. You cancel this, and so when you get your 5 CD back, you cancel it. Do you get it? Or maybe if the left 5 CD doubles to 10 CD, you just take it. So now I've got my money back.
Okay.
You see the thought? Then now I'll wait for this one to go on. Then I'm praying that it doesn't fly away.
Okay.
Do you get it? Then I can get. So on my first try, I won 500 Ghana cedis.
With your 80 CDs?
Exactly. So imagine.
If you are listening, we are not saying you should go.
Imagine how I felt. I was like the dopamine rush. Like I was charged. I was like, guy, so you knew this thing and he didn't
never
tell
told
me.
me, you know?
And you were, but he didn't tell me the problem is going to. Later is when I'll get there. So what happened was I just got this 500 Ghana cedis. I was like, wow. So then I cashed it out, and they've made it so easy that immediately you win on the app, you can just push it to your Momo. Do you get it? It's that easy, and it's so fast.
Right.
Exactly. It's so responsive. So immediately I pushed the money to my Momo. Then I said, okay, let me put back 100 Ghana cedi inside. Then I did it, and I won like series of ones. Now I had 1,200. Do you get it? But listen to where everything went wrong. So it's like it goes up like what you said. I was listening to what you said. Like it keeps sucking you in.
Yeah.
So immediately, what happened was, I started putting the money back. I lost my first 100. Then now, because now I had so much courage that I can win.
You can win again.
I was sure that if I've been able to win 1,200 with how I'm smart, because everybody classifies themselves as smart people. So like, I'm going to outsmart the app. You cannot. Trust me. So I kept on pushing the money in, pushing it in. Now I'd lost all the money.
Oh, the 1,002.
Plus my 80 cedis. Do you get it? So we started off having 80 cedis to manage for the week, and now we had nothing. Do you get it? So imagine how I felt. What did I do next?
You want to go again?
Exactly. So what would I do? It's two things. If I'm someone who my morals are broken, I'll enter into social vices.
Exactly.
I'll take something that's not mine.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Or if I'm somebody who has people around me who like to help, I'd borrow.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So I called people. Yo, I need this money. I'm just being honest because I want people to learn from that. Do you get it?
We
and
appreciate
then
that.
people are like, oh, this is Nene. I can help him because they know I'm good for it. Because one thing I always do is when I take your money, I pay you back. So guys know me. Oh, Charlie, I need this money. I want to use to do something quick. I'll get it back to you. My guy, I ended up getting money from 6 of my friends. 6 substantial money, and I lost it all. Do you get it? And it was over a period of days. Do you get it? But mine was like a 1 week thing. So immediately, I just said, hey,
you have to wake up.
This is not me, because I never like betting. Honestly, I don't have anything against people who bet, because I know everybody is entitled to however they live their lives. But I had never been one to enter it. But at that point, that's what I'm talking about. That when we get to that point, and then it's fight or flight, we literally will do anything to survive. Yeah. So that's what I was doing. And then within that way, I was like, guy, right now I'm owing people I'm owing 6 people. Do you get it? And I don't even know how I'm going to pay it. So what am I going to do? Do you get it? And then I have lost all the money, and we've gone hungry for over 3 days. We've been just drinking water and air. That's just, by the way, but literally that. Do you get it? And living off scraps. So I was like, nah, this is not me. So I deleted the app. And you know what happened? It came again. That's how the thing. So what they're talking about, that's what happens. I did it again. I downloaded it again. I was relapsing until I realized that, nah, this thing is doing me more harm than good. Because it's making me become somebody I'm not. And you see, this, my friend, this is something that has been plaguing him for years. He usually, maybe he's going to work for somebody, right? And the person gives him a lot of money. Do you get it? He takes the money and bets it. And this is something that happens. I had a story where somebody used, like, guys, they are guys in a house, they've rented a house, and they were supposed to renew their rent. And this boy used all that money to bet and lost it. Do you get it? And this is something that happens. People relate to this. And this is my friend. He takes people's, like, it gives you that courage that you know that, oh, I'm being smart. I can take someone's 2,000 that I'm supposed to use to buy stuff to do something for him, and then I double it. Then I get that money, do the job for him, and I still get paid. Do you get it? And he loses all that money, and you as his friend have to bail him out. Right. So it's not only affecting him; it's affecting all of us around. Because it's something that I've told myself that no, because I'm somebody. If I tell myself that I'm not going to do this, I take the steps to get out of it. So I've been able to get out of it, but my friend is still in, and other people are still suffering this same thing. The whole delusional thinking that you would win today. Do you get it? I will win today. Today I will win. I'm feeling lucky, but honestly.
But tell us, how did you come out? What did you really do to
so
come
what
out?
I did was,
if there's somebody listening to us and they're going through the same, they may want,
or you're down, or you need money, speak to somebody. Do you get it? Because we all have this self-respect where we don't want to ask for help.
That's
but then
true.
it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to actually bring yourself to the level of being able to ask your brother that, you know what, I'm going through a lot right now, and I would love it if you help me out. Do you get? That's why you have to keep good friends around you.
Right.
And so what causes that is unemployment also. Do you get it? So try to get an employment. And you know, people are thinking that, because when I got out of university, I didn't do things that people would think you're an SRC president. From there, you're supposed to move up. I went to learn how to cook. Do you get it? I'm telling you, I have a certificate in cooking.
Wow.
You get to work at Kempisky. I'm cooking for people. Do you get it? I'm trying to do my own thing. Do you get it? Even though right now I'm working as a business development officer, but then after that, I realized that at that point in time, there was nothing coming through. So, like I said, fight or flight. So get an employment.
Right.
Don't say that you need to be high up. No, start from somewhere. Do you get it? Even if it's 1,000 cities or 800 cities or 1,500, just try to start from there.
Okay.
Do you get it? And then track your progress and build and build. So what I did was I sought help. I spoke to people about it. I tried my best to move out of it, right? And then I got an employment.
Right.
So hence, I don't need that money. So what happens? Do you get it? Because I'm actually working for this money. But you know, how many people are able to have the will to do what I did?
I see. Very interesting. So the bottom line from what I get from your story, I mean, how you're able to come out is that you had to solve the root issues, the root problems.
Exactly.
Right? So the idleness, you had to find a way to stay out of idleness.
Exactly.
And unemployment, you had to find a way to get a job. And the solution was never to get into betting to be able to make money.
And also find, you know, like a better circle. So I'm still friends with my friend, but I don't get close to him like that
much.
Because and sometimes he feels it. And I have not told him this. If he's watching me, then I'm sure he's gonna hear. But the basic thing is, it's not like I didn't like to be near him, but then I felt like, no, at this moment I needed to be far away from him. Do you get it? So if people are able to realize that, okay, this is not good for me, and then you realize, okay, fine, this causes me to do this. You get it? I'm gonna stay away from you a little bit. We're gonna still communicate, but then I'm not gonna be in your space. And anytime he starts raising things about betting, I just try to evade it, because it's something like you said, it triggers in your head.
Right.
Do you get it? Maybe you hear, you want to go to Aviator. Do you get it? Exactly. It's embedded.
Those things will come.
It will.
Mind.
It will.
Yeah.
It becomes like an addiction. Trust me.
All right, exactly 21 after 9. This is Business Breakfast on Zed. If you just tuned in this morning, we're having a conversation on the psychology of betting and its impact on young people. We want to give you the opportunity, we want to hear from you. So feel free to send us a WhatsApp if you have an experience, you have a question, you have any comments you want to make. The number to text is 0544321019, 0544321019. And we'll give you the opportunity. I'll read your questions for you and all of that. We're also streaming live on on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. But we're on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Feel free to drop a comment on any of our posts, and then we'll do what to read that for you. You can as well call me on 03039566641, 03039566641, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask your questions. Now, we've not forgotten you, Jessica. Are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, great. Jessica, now I want to understand the mental and emotional drivers behind betting, really. What happens in the brain when someone places a bet, especially when they win or lose?
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, I'm asking that what happens in the brain when someone places a bet, especially when they win or lose. I want to understand the mental and emotional drivers behind betting, really.
Okay, so I'll delve into that once more.
Okay.
So the brain, there's a part of the brain that's responsible for impulse control and long-term decision making and planning. Okay, so that's what we call the prefrontal cortex. Okay, and we also have the limbic system too as well, which handles reward, pleasure, and excitement. So the moment a person engages in betting, okay, whether or not the person would win or lose, there's a tricky part with the brain.
Yeah.
So that excitement, that anticipation that I may win alone is good enough for the dopamine hormone to be released. Okay, so the moment that happens, when that continues, there's something we call the reward loop.
Okay.
And it becomes like a cycle and a craving. And that gives the body some thrill and some satisfaction.
Right.
So it's like, what if I win? And that anticipation will continue to release that dopamine effect. So you realize that the person is just there, and like Elliot was saying, especially when you're bored, you just want to have some mode of excitement, like what can give me some adrenaline rush, what can give me some excitement, and then they want to go back to it and have the feeling, okay, I may win, or something good may come out of this, you know. So this is the part that is very very risky, because not alone is your emotions impacted, but the structure of your brain too is impacted. So sometimes one may say, I've tried everything, but it's not working. It's because now the structure of the brain has been more or less impacted or rewired.
Right. I see. Very, very interesting. So hold on for me. Let me come to you, Stanislaus. Now, in your work, what kinds of emotional and psychological consequences have you seen in youth who gamble frequently? Maybe anxiety, you know, stuff like that.
There was one time, so there was one time I heard a guy was about winning a huge sum of money, about 100,000 Ghana cedis then, and he was left with his last game, and I think he had done over 1.5. That's 2 goals in the match, and only 1 goal was scored. Just then, when the full time whistle blew, the guy just sat on the floor. And then it's like he started talking to himself. So it's like trauma-induced psychosis, something like it's just hitting, like there's the psychotic phase in the place, like he was just going off.
Okay.
People have also shared, I think a study was conducted in the Volta region. Just
stay on that one for me.
Yeah.
You mentioned, what's a condition? You mentioned
that. I just mentioned trauma-induced psychosis. Right?
What's that one?
So there's pain from the loss of the bet, right?
Okay.
So that's trauma, and this trauma is inducing the person to enter a different phase.
Okay.
Now, when you begin to speak to yourself, when you begin to hear voices, we say you're entering psychosis. So this is not to label it fully,
right?
But that is where the person is geared towards. The person is entering psychosis, but it's trauma induced.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Makes sense. You were about talking about.
Yeah. So I was mentioning a study that was conducted in the Volta region just last year by I think Aqua et al. Yeah, and they realized that the addiction of gambling is on the rise, as we all know. So they also noticed that people who are gambling, mostly students, they looked at the ages between, I think, 18 and 35. So, like in our class, they noticed depression, anxiety, and stress very high amongst those classes. They also noticed insomnia. Insomnia was also mentioned, and other conditions that are worrying people, like basically. So, where they stand, like it has been discussed, your body has been triggered, conditioned, put in a certain phase. So with all the dopamine rush that was discussed, when everything stops, the eye clear moment, when your eye clear and you realize that, oh no, I am not getting this, you go down, and you don't go down to your normal, you go down below your normal. So that's where the depression comes in. And there's this mentality of we go again. So if you're a guy and you have that we go again mentality, you just sleep, wake up, and then you go again. But if you use your last card and you realize that there's no going back from here, that is when you begin to think. I encountered 2 examples. A guy by name Kweku Watson also, who used his uncle's 3,000 cedis to bet on, I think, Champions League, Arsenal, Bayern also, and lost it all. Immediately he lost it, he took off into the forest, attempting to end it all. because he didn't see a way back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another lady too, we hear, gambled her life savings. She had a store, sold everything in the store, even sold the store just to go and play Aviator. And then she lost it all as well. I just saw on a platform that a guy at Circle also went through the same ordeal. He had 3 shops, managed to finish everything in the shop, only to go and play Aviator. So after going through all these experiences with the dopamine rush and everything, you realize that when you finish, now you're thinking, I have lost money, I have lost my source of livelihood. Where am I going from here? Then you begin to think, you begin to withdraw. That's where depression is going to come in. Suicidal ideations begin to creep in. And then before you know, full-blown mental health condition. If the care is not taken, you just go and drown yourself somewhere. So where they sit, anxiety is profound, depression is profound, suicidal ideation very profound, and hopelessness, worthlessness, and all those things. Even in the hypothesis there, the psychology of that hypothesis, there is a part where people feel like, I have lost a lot and I need to get it back. So in an attempt to get it back, it's like you are chasing your self-worth. And now when you go and you lose it again, you now feel more worthless, because if I had lost maybe 10K and I'm hoping to get 40K back, that would have redeemed my self-image and my self-identity, and I'll get myself back. But when you lose your last 5K in an attempt to get a 10K back, you realize that now I have nothing. And so in an attempt to go after your self-worth, you become more worthless. Yeah, so that is also another plague that is hitting people hard. Yeah, where I said,
I see, but maybe there's somebody listening to us. Let's just try to let them understand. Maybe there's somebody listening to us who is so much engrossed in betting. They probably are facing some of these things you're talking about, but they don't know. Maybe if you can help us in some few minutes, what are the signs? What are some of the things that show that this particular person is falling into anxiety, is falling into depression, and all of the things that you mentioned? If you can touch on that.
So
one after the other.
So anxiety has to do with an intense fear. An intense fear. So you're going through an irrational fear. You don't know what is causing the fear, but you are scared. You are irritated. You are easily irritated, and you're on edge. So that would be anxiety. So, for example, you just used your uncle's 3K to stake a Vita and you lost. You feel like somebody's coming after you. Even though nobody is coming after you, because you have lost the money, you feel like there's somebody after me.
That's true.
But there's nobody after you. So that's where your mind begins to come in, and then you feel like, okay, so this is where you know that I'm journeying towards anxiety. When you feel very useless, oh God, what have I done? And now you begin to withdraw. Let me just withdraw. Let me just stay in my house. I'm not even going to play football again, even if you love football. That is what we call anhedonia. You're losing pleasure in things you already love. So when you start losing, some people even undereat. Some people tend to overeat in those phases. Like, I'm so stressed, I'm so distressed. Instead of eating maybe one ball of banku, all of a sudden you're eating 5. And you're not eating, you don't even understand why you are eating it, right? So that is also a symptom of depression. So when that happens, you know that you're also journeying towards depression. Suicidal ideations, as the name suggests, it means that, okay, well, now I feel like all hope is lost. I just want to end everything off. So that is where you begin to contemplate some of these things. And that is also not, it doesn't help the person's mental health yet. And then the psychosis, as I explained earlier, you begin to speak to yourself. It may be self-talk. Self-talk is different from psychosis. So I just want to differentiate that one. If I lose a bet and I go like, oh, what have I done? What have I done? I could have saved this money. That is me talking to myself. But there are moments that the person just snaps. And you can see that, no, this is not normal talk. So you need to either hold the person, seek a place to send the person, or get a family to know that your son has snapped, and then we need to get him to Panta and get some sedatives, calm him down, and then reorient him. So that happens as well. So wherever you fall from what I have explained, you should know that where you are getting to is you're entering a full-blown mental health disorder. And so you should start seeking help and then looking for the way forward to get you reoriented, and then you can continue your life from there.
Right. But there is hope for everybody.
Oh, there is hope for everyone. There is really hope for everyone.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Stanislaw. We're going to get into the business aspect of it, how these businesses market, these betting companies market, and all of that, and the psychology of it. And so I'm going to start with you, Jessica, on this one. Now, Stanislaus acknowledged that when he started his submission earlier, saying that the betting platforms use certain promo codes and some flashy ads and all of that. Jessica, how do these psychological cues hook young people
So, regarding that, they tend to use flashy colors, very attractive models or people that have accomplished a lot.
Right.
And most definitely, it's highly probable that they do not even bet. They have worked really hard for their money. But then the whole thought of, overnight success just gets them to a place of, okay, then I can associate with this person too as well, and also be like this person. So they condition the person's brain or mind to, just associate with, the betting success with this person. So the moment the person, sees betting, the person remembers or associates it with a prominent person,
Right.
or a beautiful model, or a very handsome guy with, 6 packs and whatnot in their flashy car.
Right.
So that activates that conditioning of the brain. And also, they also mimic a sense of control as well. So it's like they are in charge of their lives. So regarding other issues like unemployment and the hustle and bustle of life, they really do not have a sense of control in that. So the moment they open their apps and they get on the phone, so like Aviator, I don't know, but it's more or less, I've seen, that how they play it. So it's like the plane is like going up, and you just have to, one way or the other, make sure that you actually click it at a point that or discern that it would not drop or something like that.
Right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. But so they have that sense of control. Okay, so if I stop it here, I'm gonna win. Or if I, score these matches. I don't know how they,
The
put
terms
these
and all
words
of that,
together,
yeah.
but I hear about odds and all of that.
Yeah.
So, they have that sense. It mimics, but you really do not have that control like you think. But it mimics that sense of control because you feel you are inputting these scores and, all of that. So it has great impact on the brain, making you feel like, oh, with this part, you are in control. Oh, you lost it. Okay, I know I'm going to get it back. All of these things. So it actually has a psychological effect too as well on the brain.
I see. And I guess it's well calculated. Let me bring in Elliot into the conversation. Elliot, do you think that these betting companies strategically and intentionally use influencers and social media to grab the young people?
Yeah, I would say that it's business for them. She rightfully mentioned that these are people who have worked hard for their money, and they don't do the betting, right? They don't engage, right? But then they how will I say? They employ people.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Brand strategists, marketers, and deep thinkers, people who can get the job done.
Yeah.
And then they do all of this because it's business for them. So they use all sorts of ways to get their market.
Right.
Do you get it? And like I mentioned earlier, in this age, everything's all about influencing. Trust me. Like, somebody would eat at a particular restaurant because, like she said, 6 packs, beautiful women. This beautiful woman that he admires or he
adores.
He adores is eating there. So he feels like he feels closer to her if he also goes to eat there. So these are so they strategically place themselves in the mind of the youth because they want to make money. For them, it's business. Do you get it? For them, they wouldn't talk about it like they are causing harm to anybody. Yeah, it's just business. Exactly. That's why they tell you don't bet if you're younger than 18 because they're trying to tell you that if you're 18, that means your brain is developed.
Yeah.
You get it?
Interesting. So we'll talk about influencers and all of that. I think one thing people don't know is that some of these influencers, they don't bet. They don't do some of the things. And it's not even just about betting. In most adverts, sometimes they just call somebody, you come. They've not even tasted their food before. No. They've not used a product before. And they just go ahead and sell. And I think that's something that people need to pay attention to a lot.
development comes in. I think that's where I mentioned classical conditioning.
Yeah.
So you are pairing something desirable with something that would not be desired in the first place. So for example, I don't know anything about betting. I see my role models, my superstars on betting ads. Automatically, I start liking it because they are there. Yeah.
Okay.
Then again, the people who brought bets, or the proponents, or the sponsors of betting, or those who benefit, the stakeholders in betting, leveraged so much on the brain. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is where. So they looked at the human brain, the brain's reward system, and they thought we can make money out of this.
Right.
So now, when you go, the arguments they put before you is, okay, fine. I am betting. I am running my betting company. I am paying my tax. I am doing my responsibilities are there. I am doing them. So what's your problem with me? Okay. So they have paid their dues to the best of the understanding.
Yeah.
But where the problem comes, or where the problem arises, is the fact that in Ghana we don't have any tailored intervention to help people who are addicted.
Yes.
Now, when addiction comes in, that's where you realize that we have a problem.
Yeah.
And that is why this conversation is on the rise now.
Exactly.
Because they are noticing that they are doing more harm than good to people. Okay, so this is a platform to make money, yes. They say you come at your own risk, and then the 18 restriction is there. But yeah, the fact that I'm 18, and so what if I'm less than 18? Who is regulating that? I think that's also another conversation we can have. Yeah, so I think in Ghana, the Gaming Commission is licensed to regulate some of these things. But you realize that their regulation ends with licensing. Right?
Yeah.
When it comes to compliance, nobody knows what is happening there.
That's true.
And I saw an article that says there are 40 million subscribers of to betting sites in Ghana. And I'm wondering, how many are we in Ghana? Are we up to 40 million? But you have 40 million subscribers. You are boosting 40 million subscribers. So you can see that it means people are maybe hooked on 2 or 3 platforms at the same time, and so on and so forth. So it's a big issue, right? It's a big issue. They have monetized it. They have done so well. The little we can do now is to regulate, enforce make some enforcement here and there, some policy reforms. Yes, policy reforms are very, very necessary. So I think they've done a good job making money for themselves, but they should also visit that conversation of how we can help those who are going the negative way.
And like you said, those in the betting industry will tell you that, we've created jobs for young people. And recently, I even heard YEA or so wants to partner with some betting companies to provide jobs. Do you think it's a fair trade-off? For the risk to young people, the youth well-being, and national productivity.
I say to come in with that, just like he said, what he's saying is exactly it. In the sense that what you just said, the betting companies are not doing anything wrong. They're actually creating jobs. They're just leveraging on something that is there, because betting is, excuse me to use this word, but betting is like prostitution. It's one of the oldest like stuff. It's been there. You get, and it's something you can't do away with. Honestly, I just like to be straightforward. It's something you can't. And the thing is, these betting companies are people who are rooted. They are rooted. Trust me. They're like big pharma. You can't do away with them. So I feel like, just like he's saying, because I know a 12-year-old who bets. How did he get on the app? Do you get it? How is he registered? But he bets, just like, so compliance, there's a problem on the compliance side. Do you get it? And then there are supposed to be interventions and things to be put in place.
Right.
Just like you're talking about the YEA thing. I haven't really, gone in deep into that. But I feel like it should be something that we should tread cautiously. Because just like alcohol, do you understand? Like, it's something that someone would abhor, someone could have control enough to be able to limit. And he mentioned something that I'm really interested in about the psychological side. In Ghana, mental health is not something we take seriously. I'm telling you, we don't take it seriously. I told someone that, you know what, I want to go to therapy. She was like, why are you mad? Are you going? Okay? You get it. So like, they don't know that therapy is something that if I go through like a small trauma, do you get it? Because honestly, I didn't get to see my mom before she died, and that was traumatic. And because I am exposed to that thing, I was able to find help on my own. But this is someone that I was talking to, and I shared with her that, you know what, I think I need to see a shrink, or I need to talk to somebody. And she was like, are you okay? Because in Ghana, we just say, hey, stand up, you're okay. Do you get it? We don't really, and just like he said, sometimes it's healthy until it gets unhealthy.
That's
but
true.
the thing is, the normal Ghanaian youth, how many of us know that I'm addicted to this? Do you get it? How
Yeah.
many of us know that this is an addiction? So I feel like that is the silver lining in there. Do you get it? To be able to know how, okay, is this going to help me? Because there are people who have made fortune with betting, and then they are able to regulate it. But what about other people who are not able to regulate it? Do you get it?
I think we need to talk about what exactly could be done. But let me bring Jessica. Jessica, do you agree what we're talking about?
Yes, very much. Because when people are actually educated on, mental health, the awareness of it, and what actually are the factors that show that one is addicted. Because one thing about addiction is one of the strongest stages of addiction is the denial phase, where the person is in denial. The person does not know and does not believe until awareness is created that, hey, you check all of these boxes, and then the person's like, wow, okay, then I actually think I need to do something about it. So when the awareness is not created and we don't have enough voices, to shout out, all of these things, the disadvantages and how it's affecting, the mental state of people, even the economy and all of that, it really does pose a problem, especially to our communities and our country as a whole.
I see. I mean, just because you talk about country, I think we need to have a conversation around that as well. The impact of betting on national development and even youth potential. Let me start with you, Nene. Elliot. How does frequent betting affect our sense of purpose, the drive, and also our ambition? How does it affect us?
So if I know something small about addiction, I would say that it only pushes you off your drive, your purpose.
How so?
It's gone.
How so?
So you're just like he spoke about the dopamine rush, right? So human beings, we have a drive that we usually do things and get a thrill out of it. Okay, I'm successful, there's a dopamine rush. I'm doing this, there's a dopamine rush. I've achieved this, there's a dopamine rush. So these things, that becomes your purpose.
Okay.
Do you get it? Like you're so fixated on it that you believe that you can make it through that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the problem is, like she said, they are in denial. They don't even know that they are actually addicted. And then it throws you off your purpose. I'm just going to answer it simply. Addiction throws you off your purpose. Do you get it? Because you are getting the rush that you're supposed to be getting, chasing your purpose with this.
Right. Stanis, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think I was treading the same path, knowing that motivation, when you are motivated, of course, dopamine is in there. Then again, it's addiction blocks innovation. So purpose is there. So as a nation, right, instead of the youth spending reasonable time sitting down and then thinking of how we can develop an app that can maybe transfer us from here to space, we are busy on Sporty Bet, Betway. So we are wasting potential. So the long-term forecast, right, is that we are going to have a generation, maybe in the 5-10 years to come, we don't have critical thinkers in the system again, because we are all behind our phones working bet. That is why I find it a little, I don't know, the news you gave about YEA trying to partner with betting companies and stuff. We need to tread cautiously, because there is addiction in the system that has not been tackled. Now you are bringing in more opportunities for this addiction numbers to rise. If I am to advise, right, I would say they should look at when they partner them, they should look for interventions,
right,
that would help addicts. When you go to the US, there are helplines that you can call. It's like gambling care, so they know how much gambling earns for the state, for the people, and they know the side effects of it. So there is a helpline that you can call, straightforward, and then they will attend to you immediately.
Okay.
When you go to the UK, a similar intervention is there. So when you gamble and you're getting hooked on gambling, you can just turn to them and they'll help you out. right? But over here, we don't have some of these interventions. So if you want to increase the number of betting companies in the system, then I think one suggestion that I had here is that the government should try and take a percentage of the profits that these gambling companies are getting and tailor it into interventions that would solve the mess they have created.
Brilliant.
Simple. Like that is very simple. So the government, I'm not coming to solve your mess for you, excuse me to say. You got them hooked on it. So when they need an intervention, you should be willing to fund it. I don't think this would be a difficult conversation to have over a table with people who have who are in there and are maximizing profits from some of these people. So I feel it is okay.
Right. We have just about 10 minutes to go. It's been a great conversation so far. Let me ask you, Jessica, are there some consequences, cognitive consequences that, to chronic gambling, like attention span, problem solving, maybe academic performance? Are there something like that? Hello, Jessica?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely there are cognitive consequences. So one thing is you have you develop an impaired decision making kind of structure, okay? Because now all you're thinking about is more or less short circuiting yourself, like quick rewards. You don't your decision making or planning part of the brain is diminished one way or the other. So you more or less activate and heighten the reward system of your brain. So you start to take bigger risks without even thinking of the consequence or what risk is actually involved in, this decision you're making. So you realize that not only in betting do you tend to falter, but in other areas of your life, you realize that you become very impulsive in certain things that you do. So 1 minute you're in a risky environment, people, you start engaging in, substance use and all of that. And you just become very daring in your activities. And you feel like, they have a way of saying when you are smart or you be hard guy, that kind of thoughts, and you tend to start to ignore logic and advice people speak, and you just don't understand why they are thinking slow in your perspective, or your perception is more or less they are thinking slow, more or less smart guy. But in the long run, realize that it becomes very, very damaging as well. And you also tend to develop cognitive distortions, like I almost won. Next time I'm going to win. I'm a lucky guy, people have been lucky before. Since they are using, attractive models and all of that, I'm someday going to be like this. But are you treading the right path though? Are you treading the true path, the realistic path, so can actually also develop faulty thinking patterns as well. And it's a lot. You can even start to have obsessive thoughts, about gambling. You're sleeping and you're thinking, did I win? Let me check my phone, and all of that. And we are worrying about, the scores. You are not really worrying about the match itself or excited about the game, but you're excited about the results, and what ifs. It affects your concentration. You can't think critically, you can't analyze. It really diminishes that part of you. There's a lot we can speak about, but I'll just end here on that one.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, Stanislaw, when you were talking, you tried to give us some of the effect to our nation when it comes to this culture of gambling. What other things can we talk about? What does it mean for our future workforce and national innovation if we don't do anything about it? And I'll start with you, Elliot.
Okay. So, this is a very, very dicey topic, and it's very, very fragile. Because I feel like some of the consequences, right, are like, mental health issues that we're talking about, right? And then, financial ways, like there are debt, there's bankruptcy, there's job loss, which is pushing to social vices. Do you get it? So we'll get more people, like, being in debt, more people, excuse me to say, using dubious means to make money.
Yeah.
And they're going to pour all of these back into the betting side, and the cycle is going to continue.
Yeah.
Do you get it? And then currently we have young boys who are growing up idolizing this. Do you get it? So that's going to happen. There's going to be mental health. There's going to be more depression, more anxiety, suicidal thoughts. Do you get it? Because it causes you to isolate. Exactly. And then the financial side, and there's relationship side. Honestly, like, trust breaks.
Yeah.
Gamblers, nobody trusts gamblers.
That's
Do you
true.
get it? Because they always want a quick fix. They're like, excuse me to say, addict, like cocaine addicts. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So like nobody, so there is, there's going to be more divorces, there's going to be more relationship breaks, there's going to be lack of trust, social isolation. And this social isolation goes back to the depression, the anxiety, the suicidal thoughts. Do you get it? Because human beings weren't made to be isolated. The more you are isolated, the more, you get these thoughts and all of these things. Fraud, theft, imprisonment. So there's a possibility that in the near future would have our prisons become like even overcrowded than they are now.
That's true.
Do you get it? Because if people are engaging in social vices, it will then in turn turn to that. Then our physical health. People stay up late. Do you get it? With like staring at screens. So there'll be illness. There'll be poor self-care. Because you literally don't, all you care about is you want to make that money. Do you get it? And then something they call the addictive overlap. Like it's going to be, I would say it will, in a nutshell, I would say that in the near future, it would bring down the quality of life in youth.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Stanislaw, you have something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to put this caution out there, especially to the young ones. I have noticed this, like he said, you want to make that money, and so you stay up late. Now, especially those in the high schools, like SHS, you realize that high school guy comes out, the trackers, and then all the time they're on their phone, every hour of the day. And the matches have been structured that there are day matches, there are midnight matches. So you are always on your phone. So one caution I want to throw out there is that they should be aware. Okay. One, ask yourself, am I going to bet my whole life? If I want to be a betologist, that's what they call them. If I want to be a betologist.
What is that?
That's the term they use for people who want to bet their whole life, right? So a betologist, that's what they say. That's what they say on the streets, right? And if you want to go to school and get the best grade in school, then you need to focus on your books.
Right.
Now the problem is, because of the divided attention they give, there are moments that the bet attention overpowers that of what they should give to the books.
Okay.
So I am looking at a situation where I am in school, my attention is on betting. Now some people are able to smuggle their phones to school. So it means they're going to be hooked on betting the whole time. Even in class, you'll be betting. So if you don't make that decision that I want to bet, and so school should be on hold, or I want to go to school, so betting should be on hold, you realize that you do both of them, and in the end, you are very useless in life. So they should tread cautiously, especially those who are still in school and are betting actively. They should know that there's time for everything. If you want to, even if you want to do that too, I'm begging you, if you are in school, stay with school. If you want to reduce the betting to weekends, I think that would help you. Because if you are doing it in productive hours, and it's not just school, across
even workplaces,
So I think anybody listening who is into the habit of betting cross-dimensionally, right? I just hope they are listening and then they take this cue, because if you continue like this, you end up that you realize that if you are losing from betting, you will not be meeting targets at work.
That's true.
You will not be meeting targets in school. And so the anxiety was in the end. So they should tread cautiously and then know how to balance it if they want to continue.
And the balance is very key. When we're in school, senior high school, there was this particular gentleman. I don't want to mention his name. He's out of the country now. The guy likes partying and all of that too. But when he comes to school, you will never find him step out of school to go for party or anything. He is in for school. getting his grades. But when he doesn't do anything academic when he goes home too, there's that balance. So we need to find that, like you said. But let's try to, identify some of the solutions. Now you talked about the fact that we don't have a lot of systems to actually help people who are addicted and all of that. What exactly are some of the other things that are missing, and what are the ones that exist?
Okay.
So that somebody who is struggling with some of these things can access some of these opportunities. Yes, Stanislaw.
So I think Ghana has realized that mental health. There's a mental health gap. So recently there was an awareness campaign that was launched. I was very happy. Last month was Purple Month, right? Mental Health Awareness Month. So
and this month is for men.
This is men's mental health.
Right.
But last month was Ghana's Mental Health Month. So I understand Gaming Commission in collaboration with the Mental Health Authority went to Accra Technical University and launched an awareness campaign targeted towards betting addiction.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a step in the right direction.
Right.
And from what I'm picking is that they want to do a cross-campus tour or something like this. So at every point in time, they will be on a specific campus, educating people on some of these things. And that is a step in the right direction. I commend them for that.
Okay.
Also, I understand they want to build a gambling, a bet and addiction center for just betting and gambling.
Oh, wow.
In the Ashanti region, I think Asasewa also. So that's also,
these are not just the things we just hear.
Exactly. So
I was about to say that.
From the confirmation I did, right? From the research I did, I understand it was mentioned, but to date, nothing has been said about it too. It was specified there too. And I'm just hoping that it will not be just talk.
Yeah.
Then again, when you go into the Mental Health Act and the Mental Health Policy of Ghana, I understand only 3.9% of the Ghana Health Service budget is allocated to mental health. Right. And I feel there should be a policy change. I was looking at the Mental Health Act 2012 and if it has made room for things like betting addiction. But looking at 2012 and then the situation at that time, I feel a lot would have changed by now. And so I feel like there should be a reform. They should look at the policy again and look at the issues currently and then tie it in there. And I can also plead with the government. I just want to beg the government, Minister of Health, Ghana Health Service, the leaders, the stakeholders there, that they should help increase the mental health budget, because there are so many issues that we would need to take care of, and with a limited budget, it's not going to go on. Another thing that is worthy of note is that we have not invested a lot. Like I said, we've not invested a lot in mental health. And I don't know if we've realized that this addiction is only going to get worse from where we are now. And so the earlier we start doing something about it, the better. So for intervention, they have started one. They want to go around and spread the news about betting addiction. But it shouldn't end there.
Right.
We want to see the center. And then we want to, if possible, we should have about 2 or 3 spread across so that we can go there. The rural-urban divide is also there, where the psychiatric centers are in the south. When you go to the north, I don't know what they do. I don't know how they cope. Yeah, but like, that is also another conversation.
I was shocked to know that we have just three psychiatric hospitals in the whole of Ghana.
Yeah,
just 3.
And we have the Spantine here, and then there's psychiatric. Yeah, Ankafo is in Cape Coast. So they are all in the south.
Yeah, all in the south.
All in the south. Yeah. So I'm wondering what the middle belt and the northerners are doing about.
I think that is because we don't really believe in that. In like
the cultural argument.
You know, when somebody says somebody mentions that my mental health is, people around, like peer people, just see them as you are doing too much, you are too soft. But this is actually a problem.
That's true.
You get it. So like, honestly, like you said, it's appalling that we have only 3 mental, because I feel like the problem is we don't see that it's a problem.
Yeah.
You get it? So how we make solutions to something we don't validate as a problem?
Yeah.
So
and that is why all across our streets these days, almost every few meters you walk, you find a mad person, somebody mentally challenged person.
You do.
Yes.
And you know, there are a lot of people walking around there who are actually mentally challenged. But then they don't know. I'm telling you, like, you see somebody who is your friend, he is mentally challenged.
Yeah.
But is that we don't acknowledge it. That's because true. Like, it's something that we were not trained to know. So because me personally, it's something I have actually made time to learn about it since I had to battle with it, like hence the change influencer. I see some of my friends and I'll be like, guy, you have a small problem. They'll be like, they'll get angry. But I'll be like, I'm not insulting you, but if someone starts being impulsive, starts being hostile, there's something wrong somewhere. Because there has to be something before the person. There are triggers before somebody becomes to starts doing. We hear all of these things where a guy killed his girlfriend, mistakenly shot somebody. It is mental health. I'm telling you, it's a who in his right mind would actually kill? Because let me be honest, we can all be honest that all of us we get these thoughts, but it's your choice to regulate those thoughts. Personally, you can get bad thoughts, like you get thought that you want to do something bad to somebody because you're angry, but then you regulate it. So the silver lining or the threshold where somebody does it is someone that is mental health.
That's true. Right, Stanis, you were making a point. So which systems do exist right now? What support systems? Yes.
Right now we have mental health. We have counseling. We have mental health centers. We have counseling centers, private, public. Yeah.
Okay.
So currently I'm with Lekemes Psychology Unit. There is one at University of Ghana. I think UPSA has one too. They have a counseling center there. So in the universities, there are counseling centers. About if they are open to the general public, that I don't know. Yeah. So I think for the students,
but most of the people who are doing the betting are in the universities.
But they don't go to these.
They don't go. They don't think they have issues.
Interestingly, too, you know the statistics. If you check, sometimes one psychology is to about 300.
I don't get it. I don't go there. I don't go there.
You know, when we were in school, I never met I didn't know who it was because all the time there were people who were in the queue going to see the person, and we have to check that as well. It's a very important thing. Let me come to you, Jessica. We've seemed left out of the conversation. Sorry. How can parents, schools, and even communities build mental resilience in young people to avoid or even recover from gambling addiction?
Yeah, before I attend to that question, there was something I wanted to add regarding national policies and regulations.
Sure.
So I think we also need stricter rules on the advertising, the ads and all of that, how frequent it is, showing gambling as the fast route to quick success. We need to also, regulate that too as well. And there's something to that I noticed that the operation hours of the gambling or betting houses are like 24 hours. And I was actually really surprised one time. I think one time I closed from church, and that was an all night. And as at 3 a.m., these betting offices were still open, this gaming center. And it was very sad to note that. And I feel the government must regulate the access to betting centers as well. And the age restrictions too as well. Like somebody will sign up and all the person has to do is tick, yes, I'm 18. And I'm wondering, how is that, a way to fit that? Need something more than that, and also betting limits too as well. So when you realize that this person has in a month bet about 50,000 Ghana cedis, I mean, we need to be able to regulate that too as well. And have some limits, at least be balanced with our people too as well, and care for them too. Be very compassionate, because anything that happens becomes a cycle. It becomes a ripple effect. It returns back to our country adversely. It's negative. So we need to look at that as well.
All right, thank you very much. Our time is up. It's fast spent. So we will wrap up here. Maybe your final thoughts in a minute each, and then we can go. So
I would say that honestly, like she said, there have to be regulations. Ban you targeted ads. It should be banned. Restrict sponsorships, because whoever gives you money controls you. Do you get it? We should enforce age checks. Like she's saying, we should find a way around that. When it comes to platforms, there should be algorithm transparency, right? Because these algorithms of all these other social media take data that we don't know, and then use that to predict how we spend. I'm telling you, I've read a book on advertisement, and this is something that they do. They use that data to predict how we spend, how, like, the patterns. They are really spending. I think we should add restrictions, youth protected spaces, and then there should be education, school programs like intentional, critical thinking, media literacy. Like there should be a full blown. And then when you go to parents, parents should have open conversations with their kids.
Mm.
Like I feel like parents have to take a stand, a rooted position in the lives of their children.
Right.
Content monitoring, stigma-free support, youth-focused therapy, like you said, awareness campaigns, and peer-based help, like we are trying to do.
Yeah.
And then my final thoughts are like, how will I say this? But I feel like betting isn't just an individual risk; it's a public issue.
Yeah.
So it's something that we have to protect the youth. We need to treat gambling like we did with smoking.
Yeah,
Right?
even COVID.
Regulate, educate, and what denormalize.
That's true.
Because that's my ending thoughts. It has become so normal.
Yeah.
We have to denormalize it because it's not normal.
That's true.
Exactly. So
Right.
that's what I would say.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Elliot. Stanislaus, your final words, and then.
So I would want to reiterate the fact that the Gaming Commission, in conjunction with the Mental Health Authority and all stakeholders involved, should try and table that conversation before the betting companies to at least make available 1% or 2% of their profits into interventions tailored to clearing the mess they have done, especially with those who are hooked on the addiction. I know they would argue and say it's not their fault that people came, but we understand and we know the psychology behind it, and it doesn't have to be your fault. It is your platform I got hooked on, so I just want them to, if they can have this conversation, I feel will go a long way. And then they should establish gambling specific or betting specific mental health interventions as well.
Right.
You can train people to take that up. The psychologists are there, the interns are there. We can train them to pick it up. Even community health nurses can also be roped into this intervention, and then they can go a long way. We can cover maybe a large number of area in like a small intervention. So I feel like these things, when done, would be in the right direction to reverse some of these things that is happening to us. Then again, that's my final word to be, let us continue to live life. Life is not too serious. Some of us, we make life too serious. Life is actually easy. Just be happy and then do the right things, and then everybody's going to be happy around you as well. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you too. Okay, let me finally, the only lady amongst us. Jessica, your final words.
Yes, so mental health is really crucial in this. And it should be done at community and school levels, because this is where their brain is actually developing, like I said. So it's very, very crucial that we create awareness and also early intervention. It's very crucial. And also we should know that betting is not just a financial or recreational issue. It is a psychological and emotional one.
Right.
It intersects with identity, hope, the socioeconomic struggle that we're facing and all of that. And also, we all have to put our voices together.
Right.
Like you're doing rightly as a host, you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Inviting guests, you talk about wellness and diverse issues too as well. Individuals to families, schools, pastors, reverends, government leaders, we all need to come together in order to offer not just awareness, but also alternatives, to these risky behaviors. What are the other options, healthier options that we can go for? And the last thing I want to add is we must not judge. We must not accuse. That should not be the first go-to.
Right.
I'll speak to everyone that has been faced with these kind of, issues regarding maybe their children or family members and all of that. The first thing is try and be supportive, create an emotional safe space for the person. Then the person can open up to you, and then we can give adequate help to these people that really need it.
Right. Thank you very much. Maybe another opportunity for you, Jessica, just because you're a lady. Maybe there's somebody who is trapped in this cycle of betting. Maybe in 30 seconds, tell the person something from you. Hello, Jessica.
Okay, to me. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Jessica, yeah.
Yes, so you should know that you're not alone, one, and there are people around you that really love you, that really are concerned about you. Sometimes they may not communicate it in a love language that you may understand. Maybe yell, they may scream at you and be, very frustrated, but that is their way of actually communicating their love to you. Then again, like I said, I want to also speak to the parents and the guardians as well. Create an emotionally safe environment for these young ones so they can come to you. And also when they come to you with these things, embrace it and then show them a better way of engaging, in these engaging in these things. And also, if you're not able to help, we have clinicians, counselors, mental health advocates that can actually also help to as well.
Right.
So we're here for you. I'm sure you can also give them, access to, certain intervention
Right.
actions and places that they can go to and also seek help.
Right. Wow, what a conversation. We've had a very, very, very fruitful conversation, if you ask me. And I want to say a special thank you to all of you for making time to be here this morning and sharing your insights. I've learned so much sitting here this morning. And I got a message while we were having a conversation. And a brother of mine, Emmanuel Boachi-Enim, Dr. Emmanuel Boachi-Enim, he says there's a trotro he sat in heading to Accra from Medina. And the trotro, they are listening to us this morning. Yes. So I want to give a shout out to the driver and the mate as well, and everybody who is in the car. If you are listening to us, we are so grateful that you do. Keep it logged here. This is Business Breakfast on Zed. We are on every weekday from 6:15, usually to 9:55. Today we've extended the time. But of course, I've learned so much sitting here this morning, listening to all the insights and the real life experiences shared. A special thanks to Elliot for sharing your real life experience. We're grateful. And to my two other guests, thank you so much for sharing your insights. So I spoke to Jessica Osei Owusu. She's a psychologist, youth advocate, and the founder of Yishai Foundation. And in studio, I had Elliot Nene Aita. He's a youth advocate and a change influencer. And then Stanislaus Nyaku. He's a mental health advocate. And these are the gentlemen and lady who helped me have this conversation this morning. And to you all there, thank you very much for listening. We're back again tomorrow, same time, 6:15. Very interesting conversations right here on the Business Breakfast on Zed.